half wonder if maybe life would just make more sense if I just streamed 4 hours at a time and not 8 or 12. I had one video. Hold on. I've almost got every video up. The only videos that weren't up before today was Monday's stream. Monday's stream is 72 gigabytes for 3 videos. Premiere's been being weird though. I would have been done. I would have been done by now getting those rendered out for YouTube, except for some reason Premiere's decided when it exports the video, there's just a chance that for like 45 minutes in the middle, no audio. Like it goes and just disappears for 45 minutes, and the audio picks back up, and no clue why. So so the Monday stream from before that, I've had to render like twice. I'm like, why are you doing this? I have no clue how to even try to attempt to fix it because I don't know why it's doing it. It doesn't give me an error. It doesn't say anything. It's just like, oh yeah, the video's done. And you check the video and there's just no audio there. We need to see if we can embark on a raise. Oh yeah, we can get to that, but I gotta get there. All right, so this bed has been made. Oh my God, I just saw it. We have an issue with bedrooms right now, don't we? Barracks. I'm gonna say they can train here. What am I dealing with? No. 40 units without bedrooms. I am surprised our dwarves are so happy. 40 people have just been sleeping on the ground and nobody cares. Well, if the game would just stop giving me so many freaking dwarves when there's no reason for them, we wouldn't be having this issue. So we're going to have an issue now, as a matter of fact, because this is off the wrong corner piece. I don't think I can put another room of beds out. Wait, did I never turn these beds on? I just thought of that. I forgot something, didn't I? No, they got turned on. Yeah, no, they're good. They're little 1x1s. No, they didn't. What the fuck? So we've been putting beds down, but I've been forgetting to turn them back on. Oh no, how many beds are not used? All right, we'll just go row by row. Yep, here we go. Here they are. I mean, this isn't going to fix our 40 issue, but... If it says nobody, it's probably because I just turned it back on. Yep. Fuck me. We good now? All right, where did that just do to us? 14 unknown bedrooms, 40 units without bedrooms, because I had kicked some of them out resizing or attempting to size. So we need 26. We need 26 beds. In that room, I have space for 1, 2, 6, 10, 12, 14. I am going to, no matter what, I'm going to need a new room for beds. Now that one, if I space it out, this might work. We have a 4. Hold on. How big was this circle? 4 to 4. It's a 4x10. So if I do a 4x10, like so, and then what, an 8x8 or 8x6? And then it looks like it just goes over 1. So now this one's a 6x8. Then we have another 4x10. It does just work. Like it gels just right with this one. I'll take it. This way we can have more beds. Are they going to complain about the water? Yeah, no, yes. Yep, okay. I was about to say there's a pond up here, isn't there? Oh my God, there's 1 square of water. Calm down. Calm down. 1 square up there and you actually stopped me. Hey guys, I felt a drip of water. Can we have the day off? Build the bed. Bedrooms are a never-ending struggle. Makes it hard to ever justify digging mines. Well, this is true, but at some point you're going to hit the max. Like, if I was being smart, I would have set the max low to like 60 until the base had been built, and then slowly increase the max over time.
Don't tell the elves that all the fish are gone.
You're not supposed to be fishing anyways. Don't tell the elves nothing. Stop fishing. Literally everyone, no fish. And while I'm here, I don't think anyone's doing it. Yeah, no one has hunting. Don't tell the elves, but the fish are gone. Don't tell me, but why are you fishing? You're not supposed to do that. That's against the fishing mandate of 2073, obviously. All right, so we have a little area for our military to train. So I suppose it's about time I set up their schedule to do such training. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll set it for 3. We'll do the schedule on their training. We're going to edit this down to 3 minimum. 3 minimum. Copy that over. Paste it all the way down. When they're inactive, they should still be uniformed. Train 3 minimum. Military, no. Squad A is set to the training schedule. That is saying they have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I read it as 5 because they're available in the middle. So that schedule needs to lower down to 2. I like going for about half. So we will go back into the schedule. I'll re-edit it down to 2. And paste that all down to 2. So now there should at all times be 2 people trying to go down by that bed where they can wrestle each other so they can get their discipline up. And we're going to hear those alerts now as people become military and unmilitary. Whatever that term is. 25 jet blocks, here's 20. Now, we built this, the smelter, because I wanted to start trying to do fuel. I can make coke, so we do have the fuel stuff, but I don't have the initial fuel, meaning build furnace, wood furnace. We need someone to really quickly run a wood furnace so that I can get a charcoal to burn the lignite into more fuel. At some point, that aquifer has to stop, right? Like, not stop producing water, but stop existing if I were to dig out. Because I'm wondering if I should just trim this back to get rid of a lot of that aquifer. Now, I know internally, I think some of this is aquifer too. But I don't know what back here is aquifer. Because it stops over there. So, there's that. So here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do for that. If it's outside, it's not in base. Meaning... Or if it's above ground and not in base, meaning it would mean that it doesn't need to have the rule of circles because it's outside and not in base. Outside does not have circles. Orion D&D, thank you so much for subscribing. I don't know why I try to put lyrics to that. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing, Orion. Eldritch skills. Eldritch. Oh, Eldritch, you're in the military. Your skill is watching people strike. For non-military things, you're a dabbling brewer. And you're novice at growing. We don't let you fish. And you've been known to organize a thing or two. In combat, you are dabbling at it. You've just probably recently figured out what an axe is and how one should, in fact, hold one if they want to, not die. And socially, yeah, you talk to people. You've been known once or twice to go up to someone and be like, "Hello." So you're pretty skilled there. You're going places. One time, you even said goodbye, and no one stared at you like you were weird or anything. I swear I see you on all the Dwarf Fortress streams. I'm okay at many things. I'm recently getting back into it. I'm on my phone all day. What? Oh, gave birth to a boy. By the way, did we? Are you guys gelded yet? Should I know if you're being gelded? Oh, there you go. I see it over here. The X is by the male symbol. All right. So somebody did go around snipping all their balls. Fantastic. Damn you, shitty flute. You know what it is? We got rid of the flute for job cancellations. That's what I did. But I didn't get rid of it for jobs completed. That's got to be what it is. I got rid of it for one type of alert and one type of alert only. All right, now that tree is gone, I'm going to channel this all the way down. And we're going to remove these 3 trees. Now, I don't think I have to worry around the river. Well, at this level, I don't. Probably down below, I might trim it even wider. I can't tell. I mean, water's getting back here, so it is updating back there, I guess, a little bit. And I just saw 2 run around the backside. So, yeah, I guess we didn't lose too much in terms of getting water in the back. And I do see some falling down that back square, so maybe this helped. Maybe. Just maybe. Why do you look like a vampire? Just your corpse. You look like you're trying to be like freaking Dracula. Like, meh. What is man but a pile of lies? Drowns. Racing back on my phone all day. Did you know Arnold was a celebrity promoter of cup noodle? I don't know who Arnold is. Do you mean get them the chopper? Do you mean that Arnold? Or are you talking about a different Arnold? I've only gotten to like the beginning of the 2nd year, and from analyzing, I discovered a few things. How does one gather a continuous meat supply through hunting? I ended up having a hunter in either the 2nd or 3rd migration wave, and lots of hunts I've canceled due to not having ammunition. That, and I was trying to figure out how one gets the military started. Pretty new to this. Yes, I'm a vampire. Blah blah. I might at some point try. Okay, so you have asked the right question. But the answer is that the information you think you have is not the right information. So, yeah, in that is 3 questions. Getting a military started, at least for like a beginner thing, is mostly easy. When you create a squad, you can say, when you do create a squad appointed by this leader, you can say what type of uniform it has, and this also determines its weapon types: metal armor, leather armor, or archer. In this case, you'd be doing archer. I'm not choosing any right now. You can afterwards change out their equipment and stuff. Not necessary for what you're discussing. But in this, there is the ammunition tab. So if you hit M for military, there is the ammunition tab. You hit F, and any ranged squad you have is listed, but so are all of your hunters. Hunters are underneath the military screen. The problem is they kind of ignore this. I don't think I've ever seen a hunter travel with more than 20 bolts. Even though this says 100, I don't think I've ever seen a hunter do what this says, which is what your problem is. Your hunters aren't necessarily canceling the hunt. I don't think they have enough discipline to finish the hunt in melee. Because I've seen some hunters do it, but I've seen a bunch not. So what happens is they go out with 20 bolts. Now, making the ammunition, that's a separate thing we'll get to in a minute. If they only bring out 20 bolts or a singular stack or 2 of like 5 bolts each, what's going to happen is they're going to shoot their 10 and then be like, no ammunition. I'm canceling the hunt. But you might have like 1,000 bolts. It's just you're going to get that alert when they no longer have the ammunition. So for that particular thing, you really can't. If they don't have a good enough skill to take something out in the 5, 10, or 20 bolts, that's what the alert is they're like, I didn't bring out enough with me. This exists and you can increase the bolts. I swear, I don't think I've ever seen a hunter go out with 20 and the default is 100. So there is that. If your primary issue is that you just don't have enough for them to bring with them, then you either use metal to make them, or if you want a ton of cheap stuff, which is going to increase the amount of alerts you get because it will not kill anything, you can have your bone crafter at the craft store shop on repeat, just cranking out bone bolts. Where is my craft store shop? You can just have them cranking out bone bolts. Bone bolts suck. They're almost as bad as wood bolts. I say almost because in terms of combat, they are just as bad. But if you kill something with a bone bolt, you get back more bones to make more bone bolts. If you kill something with a wood bolt, you still need to go kill a tree too to get more wood bolts. So in that regard, in terms of supply, they're slightly better than wood bolts. But in terms of damage, they're garbage. But they are now having to shoot more. So maybe they're getting more skill? I don't know. Either way, you're going to keep getting that alert. The only real way to not have that alert is if your hunters are good enough to kill whatever they're hunting in a few shots, and you are supplying them with bolts that have enough lethal damage to be good with those shots. So there's that. And if you're doing that, then that means that you have a metal smithy set up to constantly making good bolts for them to be using and shooting. That particular alert isn't a good alert. That's just him complaining and saying, I'm done hunting. You can have tons of bolts. It wouldn't change anything because it just means he is out of bolts. And they just never seem to bring the correct amount. You do also need quivers, but you're not going to get, if you don't have a quiver, you're not going to get that alert because they won't go hunting. So if they are hunting, if you are getting that alert, then it means you're fine on quivers. But if you need them to go hunting, you will also need quivers. Now, as for the second part of that, you said get a military started. That's kind of what I have going here. You can what you need to do first is you go the letter N. You know, you can't see on my keyboard, but the letter N to go to nobles, and you have to set a militia commander. Like, the game does respect the chain of command, so to speak. I don't even know why I'm saying so to speak. The game respects the chain of command in so much as you are giving all the commands, but the game likes to pretend there's a chain. So you need a militia commander to appoint squad leaders and stuff like that. You need a squad leader to appoint everyone else. Most of that you really don't need to know. All you need to know is you have to say someone's your militia commander first. Then you can go into the military and create a squad. Then you start filling in whoever you want to do the fighting. And that's really it. It's when you create the squad, you choose ranger or melee with low quality armor or higher quality armor. Why would you choose lesser armor? It's faster. It's easier to make and it's faster. So if you have like one elite squad of really high skill, you can be like, oh, that squad gets the metal armor. But you could also be training up 2 other squads. And you're like, I don't want them wasting my armor. I want the good guys to get it. These guys can die. So you can say they get like the leather armor and stuff, which does mean that they'll be a bit faster, meaning they'll hit combat sooner, meaning that double down with weaker armor, they're more than likely to die. However, they will have absorbed a lot of your opponent's bolts or worn them out by using their flesh bags to wear out the enemy before your actual heavy troops hit with metal armor. That's kind of the big difference in those two. Other than that, they're both using melee weapons. So your big thing is ranged or melee is what that choice is. Other than that, once they're set up in a squad, you go to a bed somewhere and you set a barracks. You don't need to do any of the rest of the shit. Just hit T for train. Means they can train there. You need an area for them to train. If you're just not so new, you're not paying attention to anything at all, you don't need to do any more menus after that. Or like the military menu. You just have to go into S for squads, and then you hit T to change them to active, and they'll start training on their own. It's not the most efficient way to have set it up because at that point you're telling them to train 24/7 everyone. So there's some finesse if you want like them to trade out, but that's all you really need to do to get them to train on their own. Yes, so there used to be a point to training swords, spears, axes, or whatever. But the problem is the point was too good. I know that sounds weird, but the problem with training weapons is you trained with them. So everyone used them to train, but you were able to train too effectively with them. So it was kind of OP to train with the training stuff. So training weapons have been nerfed into oblivion, and you can no longer really train with them correctly. The way it works now with training weapons, which is kind of the idea you would think, is okay, they're using it whenever they do actual combat training, meaning they don't need to pull their blows, so you lower the risk of training accidents and injuries. Makes sense. Okay. But as was pointed out, this also means if they have a training sword, if they're training right now and someone shows up to fight you, their programming says, I have a sword, I don't need to get a sword. So they'll go into combat with the training weapon and then die because it does no damage because it's wood. What people used to do with training weapons is if it was an axe, they used to use a training axe or a wooden axe to cut down trees. More than what it was designed for, so that got removed. 1. 2, they used to hook them up to mechanisms, used to be called a danger room, and it still kind of works, but it's a lot worse now, where the purpose was you would trigger it and a bunch of traps would activate and like wooden weapons would come out and they would like hit the person, and if they didn't dodge, it would ding them. They'd get like concussions and stuff, but they would not die. So the people would just do that so much to crank up their armor defense, their evasion, things like that, that it just became the go-to strategy. So training weapons have been nerfed in that now they actually do, in fact, kind of do damage. So they're still pretty good at doing, or not pretty good, they still do damage, but they have no penetrative capabilities to hit anyone through armor. So because they also now do damage, when they're training with them, they do still kind of need to pull their blow, or they can risk doing bludgeoning damage and breaking people's things. Meaning they're having to pull their blow anyways for regular training, so it doesn't do good there either. There might be an area of all the numbers where there is kind of a point still to training weapons, but I myself don't believe that there is a point in wasting time making training weapons anymore. I get why they had to be technically nerfed by buffing them, making the weapons better at being weapons and thus ruining them for their skill before. But that kind of just brings it to now there's not really a reason to use them. So I don't even bother. I just make whatever weapons I have. If I end up with a bunch of steel, everyone's just getting steel, and that's what I'm going to tell them to train with. Like, I don't bother to set up anything for training or whatever. If I end up with wooden tools from elves or whatever, I try to just get rid of all of it. I don't pay attention.
A dwarf has claimed a workshop.
Well, that's good. I was worried he would not do that. All right, now the big thing to know about drawbridges, you said defenses like drawbridges, is that there are 2 types of drawbridge. One is way more defensive. One is slightly more useful. If you look up when you do a bridge to begin with, it just says retracts. That means the bridge disappears. In physics, they'd be like, okay, it doesn't do anything. It literally just pulls into a wall while staying flat. In Dwarf Fortress, that equates to it disappears. This isn't that defensive. If someone's on it, it'll drop them into a trap, so it can be more lethal. But the problem is once it's retracted, thank you so much for following, by the way. Crohn's, thank you so much for following. If you retract it, you still have an open hallway or door behind it, meaning if someone has range or an exceptional jump/climb ability, or they fly, they come right in. So in that regard, I would say it's less defensive than a drawbridge that rises. If you are using a bridge, there we go, that rises, if you hit WAXDS, you can choose what direction it rises in, and S resets it. You can choose what direction the bridge rises in. So if you say left, the bridge won't retract, but it'll instead become a wall in its leftermost squares. Shown, if I say as a different color of square, that red one, which means it absolutely has to be connected on top of floor there. Otherwise, what is it supported by? When a bridge is raised like that as a wall, it is for that moment in time considered a wall, meaning it's indestructible. You can't burn it down, you can't siege it, you cannot destroy it. A bridge that is down can be destroyed. It's like if a dragon comes by and breathes fire over your wooden bridge, your bridge burns, it's gone. But if you raise your bridge up into a wall, as long as it's a wall, it is impenetrable. Nothing in the game right now can get through it. Does not matter what it's made out of at all. So one is more defensive, but also you obviously can't shoot out. But the other one is slightly more offensive because you can use it to drop an enemy into somewhere you want to kill them or do something with. If you do a raising bridge and they're on the bridge, it'll catapult them in the direction the bridge is raising towards. Sometimes this can be lethal too, and it's kind of funny. But if perchance they live, you've now trapped yourself in there with whatever that monster was. So, not quite so defensive. Slightly bad if that were to happen. So just be aware of that. If you want surprise walls, bridge. Because for the bridge thing, by the way, again, if you say raise to the left or whatever, I'm going to say raise to the left. A bridge can be a one wide thing. Basically meaning that this is just like an impenetrable portcullis. Now at this point, this is a bridge that doesn't do anything. And you can just create a wall wherever you want. Like a legit wall. A floodgate cannot do that. A floodgate can be destroyed when it's closed. A one wide bridge, not so much. So if you're going to be having defenses and doors along the mechanical route like bridges, be aware of that key difference of a raising bridge versus a retracting bridge. We also learned diagonal openings sort of work. What? Count Dragoman. What? Get to the copper. But what if we set to retract and drop enemies into a river? Dragoman, I discussed that. I said that would be a more offensive use of it. Like you're using it because you're on the defense, but you're using that to cause the enemy to be in somewhere for damage. A wall is a wall, pure defense. Dropping someone, that's a setup for damage. Diagonal openings sort of work. That one's got me confused. Why are we not getting music back? All right, this wall has been essentially done. Because you can access it from over here. Actually, here's how I'm going to start getting rid of this. I'm going to zipper it from both directions. This one's not necessary. We'll do that to get rid of these. For a fortress built mainly into the side of a mountain, is there a way to create some sort of artificial moat? I mean, kind of, that's what I'm doing. That's what this is. I'm setting up for a bit of an artificial moat. This is the actual building we're going to be living in. This is an outer wall because I am building in the middle of 3 giant cliffs. So the only easy way to do that is to build it. If there's nothing there, if there's nothing there, you have to build additively. You have to actually construct walls and stuff. You can't just dig out terrain. That's the only real answer to that. I would say, though, because of how easy it is for the enemy to swim and climb things nowadays, it might slightly be in your favor to have just a giant open air moat. Too many things, like I honestly think a few too many things got the ability to swim, or they swim too good. I don't know how to word that. Where moats, like if you go down 1Z level water, you go up 1Z level, it might as well just be a straight floor. Like goblins, trolls, a lot of the forgotten beasts, they just see the water and they just kind of like paddle across. Like everyone can doggy paddle basically. Unless they fall into the water, then even something with like a level 1 skill has a good chance to doggy paddle against like a 2 or 3 wide moat. Doesn't matter how deep it is. So if you are working with something like that, if you're constructing it or you're digging it out, what tends to work for me is that there is a pit, then a moat. And I will show that with this. Bear with me. 2, 3, 4. And what I mean is you have this space that they can fall down. This is all open air, completely open air. They fall down into wherever the actual water is. The water is not filled to the top at all. It's just like a layer of water. So if your thing is 3 Z levels deep, you know, this is 3 Z levels deep, then make sure the water's only up to 2 Z levels. Because the problem is, in order to get out of this, they would have to climb. Like I said, anyone can climb now. So if the water touches this, they'll climb this. But if the wall is over here, they'll climb up here and then be like, oh, okay. And they won't be able to get out. But if your water was raised all the way to the top in this, then they would swim here and then climb up. That's the only way that I figured out right now to make moats work as moats again, since water isn't a skill. I mean, it's a skill, but like, since water is usable untrained, or swimming is water usable untrained, since swimming is usable untrained, the only real way I figured out how to get around that is just to make it not matter. Which kind of sucks. Maybe there is a way that makes sense and I'm just like overthinking it, but that's just what I'm dealing with. All right, we're in Gabbro right now. I think this is the last of my jet. Oh no. Wait, is there more jet over here? Okay. Thought. Jet is not a vein stone. Jet grows in circles. So this is a layer of chert, meaning that there was an oblong, there is a oval of jet here, and I mined through it. It looks like there is kind of another oval here, but that's where the cliff was. So there should be another oval of jet up here. I'm seeing that. I hope that's just because that's where Jim is. But unless this is 2 different biomes, there should be another oval of jet up there. So what I'm going to do are radius 2 circles as like a little exploratory haul up there to see if I'm right and I can find another jet. 2, 3. And this is a series of circles. I'm not violating the circle principle. This is a series of circles to see if there's jet up here. If one of these is jet, I might need to mix a bunch of these together to create a bigger circle to gel with the new circles I had done. Like if I mix that to that, now I'm just going to have to redo the whole thing as one radius 12 circle to encompass and overlap. It's called that a jetty of jet. I hate you. I hate you so much. Here's what I'm going to do. The other one crashed. Like, this is the issue. Uh-oh. The thing is missing. I know that one is everyone's preferred one, but it... like, I did the thing. I got rid of the alerts, and yet they come back under a different principle. I don't understand why SoundSense... I don't know if, like, maybe as a mod it's been abandoned? Like, I don't think there's anyone who likes that sound in SoundSense. So we're going to use this.
Thank you so much.
So I'm going to use the one that's less stable again. Just because I hate that native flute. Oh, and I heard the boop. Gourd Squash. Thank you so much for following. Do you too hate shitty flute? Is this what it has taken to win you over? Where you're on the fence, you're like, I don't know, man. This guy kind of gets on my nerves a little bit. And then I was like, no one likes shitty flute. And you're like, this man, he speaks to my soul. Every time I hear that awful, awful shitty flute, it makes you want to go out and do horrible things. Yeah. It's an obnoxious noise. I don't understand why that was ever in the game. Like, I get the idea. I mean, I say I don't understand, but I feel like it should have been after like beta 0.01 taken back out, because something bad's gone wrong. You want to get rid of it. You want the player to know. Makes sense to me. Which one's doing this? Makes sense to me. But at some point you're like, man, a lot of things get canceled in this game. We should probably not hate the players. Here's what I'm going to do. We are going to make a few chert blocks. Four, 8, hold on, 4, 8, 12. I need 12 per. 1, 2, 3. I'll explain this in a minute. Basically, I'm going to use this to follow the rules as given to me, but also get more jet. What I'm going to do is, because one of the 3 memes is build with all digs, all things, try to do circles as much as possible. I need this chert. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just mine that out. I'm going to then, this jet, I'm then going to take the chert blocks and reinstall them back here to create the pillars between the circles. That way, there are circles here. It has been dug as circles. We have a circle theme, but I need this jet. Since this one, the one I had hoped for, no, that's oh, I did just hit jet. I was right. Oh my God. I thought I'd gone it out and it wasn't there. I was right. That is the jet. All right, never mind. We don't need to do this anymore. I found the jet. I was like, I've seen them spaced before. There, a gap. Okay. I thought I must have seen them mining this. And I was like, damn it, it's not there. It's a biome difference. That is exactly where the jet was. By the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to cheat real quick, everyone. But I'm going to show what I just did, if you don't know. There are 2 types of ways things are, or 3 types of ways stone is done in the game. 4. 4th one's gems. A layer, an entire Z level, will be 1 stone. In this particular case, the Z level was chert. Then it'll go, okay, we need a variety. You'll have a vein and you'll have, I forget what the other word is. I just call them the oblongs. In this case, for this part of the biome, the vein was lignite. So lignite, just weird little tendrils everywhere. And you can see all the lignite. That's how the vein type stuff generates. You'll see kind of some metals like this and stuff too. But if it's what I'm calling the oblong, I can't remember what the name of it is. It's just like stamped across the entire world. It's RNG for the orientation, you know, like the 360 degrees of how it's spun. But every Z level, you will see this. If there is an oblong in that Z level, it's just printed across the entire map. So if you ever anywhere dig into an oblong, it's like for a regular map, when you do like, oh, 3x3 or 4x4 or whatever, that's kind of the squares. There's an oblong per world square. If you do a 3x3 or a 4x4, that's kind of what you're mapping out. So every square will have an oblong if there's an oblong at that Z level. And the veins are just kind of whatever. So if you bump into something that's like, also it's like, oh wow, there's a bunch of it here, and you do like a circular space, just realize you're on a tic-tac-toe grid. Dig out X amount of space to another one. You'll be good to go. You'll find it. And like I said, it basically does this all the way down. Trying to see if there's more oblongs down here. Nope, no oblongs. Just veins. Oh, wait, no, there is kind of. Well, this is a biome difference. This is something different entirely. That's because of elevation and biome differences. I'm sure there's a regular name for what I'm calling the oblongs. But yeah, that's what they are. Okay. Unreveal. So I had thought when I did this out, I had thought that this was being one, that there was another one there, which I think technically we've just figured out there is one there. It oriented that way, so I didn't see it. So it's like, man, there's not one here. So I figured if I'm at the edge, I'll go over and be at an edge. And I should have done that to 4. We got lucky that this one was centered on the left because it's pointing up and down. So I should have missed this one. We got lucky that I went out 3. If I'd only gone out 2, which is kind of what I thought was the difference, actually, we would not have seen enough of it. So if you're going to do what I just did, each one was for 16. 16 is about the difference you have to go. Maybe 20. 16 to 20 will put you in the middle somewhere. That's actually it. So, like I said, it's done by the biome. So if you embark on a map and like that's when you're like, oh, upper right is like a forest biome and lower left is like a tundra biome. Wherever that biome square is, that's what determines it. At that Z level in that particular part of the biome, you're only going to have the one type of oblong. If you have a biome that runs like a biome border that runs through the middle of your map, one side will have one ore with its own type of oblong. The other side of the biome line will have its ore with its own type of oblong. Now, a lot of times you're like, no, I did that on a biome difference and they were the same. It's probably because they were like similar biomes. Like what I'm saying is if each biome has its own rules for kind of like what goes where and whether or not there's a river determines the type of stone, what have you. But basically, if your oblong on a Z level is, in this case, jet, that's your oblong. If you have a biome line in the middle, then possibly where that biome line is, it is a different enough biome that on that side of it, you will generate a different oblong. But can't guarantee it. But if you're wanting more than one stone like that on a thing, you're going to need a biome change. And that biome change will also change what the stone of the entire layer is. So again, if you have different biomes, you can kind of see where the biome layer is if you just dig down and you can see it goes from chert and then all of a sudden it's just pure gabbro on the same level. We happen to have biome gabbro, but that's just because that's a completely different Z level. So down here, the biome has decided there is no more jet. We have diorite, or there's no more the brownstone. It is diorite. And then down here, it's saying it's sandy loam. But that sandy loam is just overriding what was here for stone because the elevation went down. And this area happens to have 2 or 3 Z levels of dirt type material on top of the stone. So sandy loam, that's just always probably going to be there. That's the how deep is the dirt layer part of the math replacing something with dirt. That's how that part is working. But here we've seen like the base stone is marble and then it's micro. Actually, I think it's the other way around. One of these is the base stone. One of them is the oblong. I can't remember if marble is an oblong or a base. Looks like we're kind of a little bit of both. Hold on. The marble is the base. The oblong is the microcline. Yes, and then gems was the other extra type, and as you can just see them, it's like, oh, here's 5, here's 2, here's whatever. But, and to go into that one last time, when you do have the gems, per Z level, there are other things that'll change it, that's what you're getting. Again, it is determined that in this grid, the stone is chert, the oblong is jet, and the gem is Morian clusters. So you could have different gems probably across different like squares, but in a square, if it's Morian, you're gonna have Morian. I just don't think I have a lot of gem variety here. So it looks like my gems on this map are gonna be Morian. If you want more variety, you're going to need to have a biome difference. Takes down to here, and I think this is spindle clusters. But again, if you look, the way they're doing it, it's not like a big thing. It's, okay, we got down long enough. We went from shallow gems to now we start counting for essentially probably deeper gems. Like there's a different levels of the math for it. But that's why whenever you do searches, and then now that we have the second layer of gems starting, it's just those two. Then it takes down to this layer where the stone changes again, and we dropped one of the gems types and replace it with amethyst. Like I said, it's literally, it's just geometry. Below this gem, above this, that gem, this biome, that gem, not that biome, this gem. If you really want to change it, you're probably going to need a biome split in the middle. That's like the greatest way to do your variety. You can see this also. I think you can do it in regular Dwarf Fortress. You should not need DF Hack. The regular help me find an Embark. I know Embark Assistant is DF Hack, but I don't think the other Embark thing is. If you look at that, you can do a search, and it's like, okay, do you want metal or multiple metal? If you do multiple metal, basically what you're searching for is, I want this metal on a biome change. That's what you're doing for that. The other searches, it'll say shallow or deep. That's really what it is. That's how the math does it. Above X, below Y. And if you tell the search to do multiple, you basically constrain the entire thing to being on the border of a biome. That's what that's doing. Hey, Kleino Dev, we are explaining world generation biomes, metal stone clusters. Do you have a name for the oblong, Kleino? I just call them oblongs. I don't know what the term is. I'm not a geologist. What is the term for the oblongs in Dwarf Fortress? When it generates these, I just call them the oblongs. Oh, also, you can see, by the way, our other metal. Here's the limonite. So our two veins, by the way, I got lucky. I mean, if this is what you're searching for, this is basically exactly what you're searching for. If you're like, I want iron and I want fuel. If it's going to be like lignite, what you're basically saying is you want both the vein things to be very specific. If you're saying I want iron and I want fuel, if it's gonna be like lignite or bituminous coal, that's what you're saying is, of the two vein metals, two vein stones, I want one to be fuel and I want one to be iron. If you say I want fuel and multiple metals, you're going to need a biome change, because at that point you're asking for 3 veins. And I don't think you can get 3 veins, 3 vein variety. I don't think you can get a triple vein variety within one biome square. I don't think the game does that. You're going to get 2. So if you want fuel, don't do multiple metals. Because if you do multiple metals, what that means is there's a good chance you've cut your grand total of 1 metal at least in half, depending upon where the biome changes, if it happens to have fuel. If you get kind of unlucky and you can get so half the map is fuel and half of it is your variety of metals, maybe that works. But I think you're only ever going to really get 2 vein metals or vein stones. So that's why usually you're not going to get too much if you're trying to specifically look for that. Ovoids. Rich chocolatine Ovaltine. I haven't had ellipses. No, not the actual shape. There's a reason why they generate that way. There are stones IRL that do that. I'm fairly certain somewhere Toady One has addressed it, or it's in a code or whatever, as stone something. Like, he probably has the actual geologist name for the types of stuff that are found in the earth in those type of shapes, not just in veins. Like, I'm not calling that a vein stone because it happens to look thin and spindly. That's an actual like thing for that. Like, oh, I've hit an iron vein. Like, that's how a lot of those things tend to go. Yeah, Art, you're dead. It's not actually depth dependent. Shallow layers are a special thing. You can have no shallow levels. Wiki calls those large ovals large clusters. Cluster. Cluster is the word I was looking for. Those are clusters. And you got dwarf too. Yes, that just counts shallow as dirt levels. Well, no, and that's what I'm saying. When it does the search, it'll say shallow or deep metals. There's a thing where, God, I'm such a bad geologist. There is igneous, sedimentary, and a third stone type. Shallow layers, shallow metals are things that render sedimentary. Deep ones are the ones that are like igneous or whatever the hell, the metamorphic, igneous, sedimentary. So iron, for instance, iron can be found as limonite, magnetite, and hematite. I don't think there's a fourth iron in Dwarf Fortress. Hematite, I think, is igneous, basically meaning you're only, I think for the most part, you're either only going to find that around depth or closer to the mountainous regions where there might be like a volcanic peak. You don't have to be at the volcanic peak, but more mountainous regions, where if you're always searching for rivers, you're more likely to find sedimentary metals like limonite. And that is what it is checking, I think, is for if it's a sedimentary part, and a deep one is a igneous one. And please don't ask me what the fuck metamorphic is, because I don't remember. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so that's like, I think that's the deep shallow thing, is it's literally just in the sedimentary stone, is that there? Does it have igneous? So if you're searching for shallow and deep metals, you can actually change where you find them. If you're like, I need iron and shallow, you're specifying, I think at that point, basically that you're going to get limonite. I think that is what you are cross-referencing out if you're doing shallow and just iron. I think you're basically looking for limonite. What are the other metals? No clue. I only really focus on iron a lot. I know I see silver a lot shallow, so I'm guessing that whatever it is for shallow, at least one of the ones for silver, is a sedimentary type, or the ore of it is a sedimentary stone. But they are called clusters. Everything I kept calling an oval, the actual term for it is a cluster. Multiple means at least two metals. Probably what you're thinking of is that if you set mineral frequency too high, it doesn't count as minerals. So yes, some volcanic areas are igneous, obtrusive, and will have no shallow layers at all. Well, yes. Yes. That's what I'm saying. I don't that like shallow isn't actually measuring depth. I think it's just measuring sedimentary or not. So if it's igneous obtrusive, then all the layers there would be igneous, which I think is just what the game is paying attention to for deep. Also, how have you been, Kleino? If everyone doesn't know, Kleino is an amazing person who has, I don't think, has ever streamed a day in his life. But we're all going to follow him because I want him to somehow accidentally become an affiliate like within the first hour of him streaming. By the way, Kleino, since you just come in, if you did not know, our memes for this base, the 3 rules I'm constraining myself to is circles, because the last base died and we never really did circles, a central waterfall. I have diverted a river to the middle of my base, and a diverse vegetarian fort. I'm not allowed to hunt. I'm not allowed to fish. I'm not allowed to do eggs. I'm not allowed to do one giant farm either. I need multiple smaller types of farms. So that is what we are slowly working on as I'm constructing this base over here. No one ever sees those areas, so they use vanilla site search, because who doesn't turn on shallow metals? Exactly. Like, a lot of those search functions. You're not searching for what you think you're searching for. So you might be like, oh, wow, my world generated with no iron. I'm just going to keep coming back to iron. Fuck it. Why change what isn't broke? You might end up creating some convoluted thing to be like, oh, God, there's no iron in the world. If somehow you rule out... If you say you only want deep metals, so that rules out sedimentary, but it will give you igneous, which can be around volcanoes, but also say that there has to be a sizable river, not just a brook, a sizable river, then you've somehow constrained yourself to it has to be a volcanic area with a big river. So you can accidentally ask for a volcano with a 4-wide river without asking for a volcano with a 4-wide river, because you're never going to see, because you said you want to check for deep metals. You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you need a lot of deep, like there's a way to do it. So you're actually searching for a lot more things than you're searching for, because it's a happenstance of what you're searching for actually existing as behind the scenes. All right, fine. We'll make the damn slabs. Holy shit. I'm never going to drain that. I figured if we only had the one ghost who was peaceful, it wouldn't matter. We've gotten like 5 ghosts now. Because so many of our dwarves fell down the waterfall drowning to build our water system, we're going to build slabs to get rid of them. Woodcrafter went mad. He had a mood, didn't he? You know, some bases, I'm just very, very bad at remembering when we've had a mood. I think this is one of those bases. I'm going to turn the doom of many to become the doom of our enemies, which may also feed us, and that's also the slabs from the doom. Many small farms are better anyways. Lots of little family houses are better than bedroom layers. Centralization. Many small farms are better anyways. Lots of little family houses are better than bedroom layers. Lots of little family houses. Oh, okay. You're saying keeping everyone out of each other's way. You know, I've never actually done that. That's not the first time I've heard that, and I can see the reasoning behind it, but I've never actually done that. I don't think that's going to be happening this base, unfortunately. If I'm doing everything in circles, or if I'm doing everything with a giant central waterfall, I think focusing the base on a giant central waterfall is going to require me to centralize. Something in the verbiage there is leading me to believe that's going to happen. So unfortunately, this is not the base where I'm going to be able to test out the satellite system. Though that does give me an idea. We could at some point test a satellite system. I could try doing it like Frostpunk. Frostpunk is a game about building circles, but everyone knows the best strategy is to use the remote heating things, not expand the heater range. So we could try pretending we're in Frostpunk. Like, I will have to have central stairwells, and then everything has to be built within a certain radius of those control systems. I need to write this down. That's a fantastic idea. We're not doing that this time, but next base, I want to try that. I just love Frostpunk. Frostpunk base. Next time. Oh, we can even put it in a frozen biome on Dragon Ball Z. The sad thing is I just wrote that down, and that's going to confuse the hell out of me later, chat. You're going to have to remember that for me. I literally just wrote down next time on Dragon Ball Z, Frostpunk base. All right. I'm hearing different music again. Why am I hearing different music again? Why is the dagger dance a sound effect? I'm going to lower dagger dance a bit. Dead cat. Don't know why he's dead, but dead cat. Minecraft mini villages. Season changed to wet season, that's why. What? Why did the cat die? I missed the question. I make a big guild hall with a dining room for each group of related skills, and then little halls with family bedrooms around it. Okay, hold on. One big guild hall with a dining room for each group of related skills. This sounds like what I'm trying to get working with the guild system. And then little halls with family bedrooms around it. Each guild hall handles its own food. Food hauling is the biggest labor waste in modern forts. I was tracking to the very end. Wouldn't your system make there be more food hauling if there's more places to haul food to? Oh no, because you're saying each area has its own farm so that they don't have to go as far. Makes sense. Yes. Okay. You asked why the music changed. Ah, okay. That is the question. It now makes sense. You have to remember, Art. Just because I asked the question doesn't mean I remember I asked it. If the question isn't part of the answer, I'll get confused. We need to make more jet blocks if we're going to try to do this semi-zebra thing. Luckily, though, I have gone back into more jet. Now, I'm going to mine out 6 of these at once so I can replace them with the walls so that we can stick to the circular motif. All right, the water's coming in. That wall has been made. I need to trim this back now, because this can now just be accessed with dirt. We don't need to go out there anymore. I need jet to continue this floor. That's why we're waiting on that. Luckily, this is sand. So I could start doing glass. We have fuel. Wait, that's right. I built a wood furnace so I can make 1 whole charcoal so that I can start turning the lignite. I think we have lignite, right? Yeah, the lignite into fuel. Then we can use the fuel to make glass. So if nothing else, we can have the little museum set up later. But also, perhaps at some point we do like a glass wall or something. Like maybe I should start replacing this wall with a glass wall. I don't know. I just think it would look neato. If I had the ranch up here, I'll sing like, "Oh, we have wood because it's the above ground thing." But like, what if we didn't? What if we just had like green glass wall? So that shafty looking level that juts in towards the base sure looks like a wiggly wang. It's a river. What are you talking about? If anything, if you were going to say that is a body part, surely this is like the appendix or something. like isn't that part of the intestine and then you have the appendix sticking off? Oh good, the elves. All I have is wood. I don't think I built anything from anything else. It's a bicycle. Yeah, I'll go with that. It's a bicycle wheel. I will go with that. That makes sense. Wiggly wang. Not everything's a wiggly wang. Go down 3, maybe 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3? You're talking about this? Dude, there ain't no wiggly wang here. You reading into this. It's a vinyl record player. I'm sorry. With the booba bass and stuff like that, even though you were all wrong, I can see like the base framework of what your argument was, even if the argument was wrong. There's literally no wiggly wang here. Nothing here comes close. I have no clue what you're talking about. There was a walled off section that jutted in toward the base underneath it. A walled off section that jutted in toward the base. What the fuck? Are you talking about this? This is a wiggly wang? This is a part of a circle. I think the structure changed. Yeah, okay. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Did you dwarf me yet? Yes. You were a dwarf the whole time. And the whole time you were a bone carver. What is your skill at bone carving? I don't think you're that great at bone carver. You're not. You are not a bone carver. You are an apprentice craftsman. Which turns off... Oh, it turned off lie making. There you go. I made it so you can no longer lie. I'll make an honest man out of you yet. Coca just sees wiggly wings everywhere. Did you read my above about blacksmith's daughters? Oh God, no. Blacksmith's daughters, blacksmith's daughters. Right, they're like mini forts. No one hauls anything. Blacksmith's daughters marry weaponsmith's sons, and their kids play with toy hammers and forges while learning the family skills from demonstrations. Because the whole area is a guild. I like the idea. Okay. I don't think I'll be able to pull that off in this one, though. Not with the... I cannot do that with my constraints. I do like the idea. Like I said, I'll probably end up trying to pull that off with the Frostpunk idea. Because in my head, at least, how I'm going to make that work, the only way I can think of is how I design my Frostpunk bases. It's the only way I can think of how I'd make that work. So in order for that to work, each one of them has to have their own burrow, right? Because otherwise, wouldn't they just go wherever the hell they wanted and just do it and have an unnecessarily long haul job? I'm going to write that down as a motif. I'm going to say legit burrows, since most of my burrows are one of three things and none of them are legit. On the north side, okay, the east-west corridor on the north side of the river channel. The east-west corridor, the north side. Walled off? To be 2 to 3 tall. Are you watching too many streams? Are you talking about this? The circle I'm digging out? Are you saying because that there is a hollow circle that it's a wiggly wang? Is this what you're going with? Because remember, I'm channeling the whole thing out. This is what you're going with. It's the only thing I'm seeing so far. This is the only out you're getting, is that so far there has been a curve, and anything curvy must be wiggle wang. Is this what you're going for? Are you going for the aquifer as a wiggle wang? Oh yes, I do watch too many streams, and no, there was a 3 to 4 width natural dirt floor. This one's natural dirt. This is natural dirt. I'm not even messing with you. I have no clue what you're talking about. I honestly don't. Like, we're going to find this at some point, probably. And you're going to be like, there, it's right there. I'm sorry. I have no clue what the hell you're talking about. But I believe that you believe you saw it. Maybe he means we're mining the jet. But we did this earlier. We looked at these. Talking about this area? Are you saying that's a wiggle wang? Does your wiggle wang bend at a 90-degree straight angle? Is that what you're saying? Oh, by the way, you mentioned free shaking. I don't know if my head did that again. I figured out what happened the one time when I tried like bobbing the head dancing and everyone's like, what the hell are you doing? You having a seizure? I actually had an issue the next day. Not a seizure thing. Don't worry. Remember, I've had a neck injury. I'm supposed to do like proper stretches and shit like that. My neck muscle straight locked after the stream. Like I went to sleep and then woke up and could not move my head. So what you saw was literally this muscle like giving in and going too tight. Like I was trying to bob my head, but the weird like semi-seizure part of that was literally a muscle back here. Like I had to get my TENS unit and just shock the shit out of my neck. I'm not even joking. So if that happens again, don't panic. I mean, let me know, but don't panic too much. That's not a psychological thing. That's literally a fucking broke ass muscle thing or whatever the hell it is in my neck. Yes, my 90-degree wiggle wang doubles as a trailer hitch. Please consult a doctor if your wiggle wang bends at a 90-degree angle. But yeah, no, when I did the one thing and everyone was like, oh my God, never do that again. You look like you're seizing. And then I looked at it and I was like, I have no clue why my head's doing that. Every time I was trying to go like out a bit, I think I could actually do it on purpose. I have been doing my stretches, so it probably won't work correctly. But I've got a muscle. I don't know if the camera can pick it up. It doesn't like going too, like it shakes too much. So I've got a muscle or a tendon or wherever the fuck is in the neck. And like, for some reason, just over time, it just keeps tightening and tightening and tightening and tightening. Because I damaged it in the military. Like they looked at it. They looked at it and the best the Army was like is they're like, okay, yeah, we're going to give you a weird little shocky thing and send you to physical therapy. Like for the neck. I was like, okay. It's only on the right side. Like I never have an issue with the left side of the neck. It's because I was wearing a helmet when I fell and like I swear it tore something soft that did not heal right. But like they put you in like the CAT scan thing and they're like, oh look, it's here your bones in the space in between the bones are good. So, you know, we don't know what's wrong with you. We can't see it. But yeah, something over here probably tore and healed wrong or something. So it tries to over tight. So if I don't like, I'm supposed to like turn my head left, grab the chair, stretch out that side or whatever. And I guess I hadn't done it in a while because it by that point, it just more than this, it wasn't doing. That was yucca. Are these two different ones? Hold on. Shit, I turned off a deblocking. Oh no, that's the weird melting thing. People were calling me names. Yucca. Come on in, Jay. Yeah, the problem there is I'm like trying to tighten up the head to do the head bob. So the one muscle just isn't having it. That's literally what that is. Don't get me wrong. I have no dance skills and it still would look like complete shit. But the reason why that looks like I'm having a weird little mini seizure is I kind of am. Like over here, it's not doing it. It would have looked stupid. Like I said, don't get me wrong. This is not a defense. It would have looked dumb. It just wouldn't have looked medically dumb. Wait, am I building this out of jet? No, this is supposed to be the shirt blocks. Oh my God, I need my jet back. I can't believe I just did that. The whole point was to save on jet and I used it to build the walls. Yeah, no, I guess I got it. If you don't know what a TENS unit is, by the way, you know those things in like hospital shows or like they got the stuff all over and it's doing the QRST line. They're doing the fucking, they're doing the heart rate. Boop, boo. We're measuring his vitals. Boop, boo, for the heart thing or whatever. Yeah, it's just a reverse one of those. You get two little pads and you're supposed to stick them on other sides of your muscle or something. And then it goes through different frequencies and basically it just shocks the fuck out of your muscle. It doesn't hurt or anything, though. I mean, it can be a bit painful at the wrong like settings. You'll feel it, but your muscles won't move wherever. Basically, it forces them to tighten and then loosens, and forces them to tighten and then loosens. I normally never have to use it. If I do my stretches and exercises every day, then I'm good. But I guess I just hadn't done it in ever. So yeah, the day after that stream, I had to use my tens. Like, it's not even like, oh, I got a crick in my neck. It literally is like, I can't, like, it won't let go. It just gets tight and tight and tight. Whereas crick is like, oh, something hurts. It like hurts. No, it's like, oh, you've hit the edge of your allotted movement. Please pay us a $9.99 subscription fee to restore looking down and to the left. I got tensed for about 2 months. That's a cramp. Well, no, there is a thing where like, it's not that the muscle is pulling, because I could do this, no problem. RNG got crampist. It wasn't a cramp because it doesn't hurt. The muscle just doesn't move. And it's always the same one. I don't even know if they're like, I don't even know what the hell that's supposed to be. The problem is wherever it is, I swear to God, it like goes up into your skull. If I ever get like, it can cause tension headaches. That's what the doctor said it was. I just think I want to yank my head off. If and when there's ever an issue, if there is actual discomfort to it, your skull does this and your spine goes up into it. I swear to God, it's like my skull, like the back of it. Like I feel like I'm sitting on the spine too hard. The skull does. But every time I try to explain that, it's like, you're fucking bonkers. That's not how any of this works. The trapezius. I will assume that's right and go, yes, I have an issue with my trapezius. Because they didn't see anything on like the x-rays or the CTs or whatever. So there's like, we can't find it. They said a lot more polite, don't get me wrong. Like the guy said it completely professionally and stuff. If I ever have to go back to them again, I definitely wouldn't like that guy to feel insulted and use the opportunity to take out some anger on me. We'll fix it. Oh no, sorry, he died. No, I have a neck pillow. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how I sleep. Like I said, it all initiated from when I fell. I have a neck pillow. I even have a Yojibo upper neck U thing. Doesn't matter what I do. Like I said, most of the time it's just do your stretches and you're good. That's literally what it comes down to. From the neck. Hello? Oh, that's them training. From the neck to the spade. Define the spade. Is that up in here? Is that like up in here? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I think that's what I'm talking about. There is an area where I can't get my finger into it because of my fucking skin. Which is where the skull is sitting. There's a divot like up into the skull, and I feel like somehow my spine is too far into it. I fell on my back. I've wanted one of those electrostimulators since I first heard the Soviets were cheating in the Olympics with them. Hold on, why is Toulon starving? No one should be starving unless he's crazy. Is it you? Oh, he's crazy. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, no. I mean, I suppose it helped my head, but basically, tall truck, like 13 feet off the ground, like the thing you can stand on. But I was on top of the thing on top of the tall truck, which is at least another 10 feet. Like, I could probably Google the actual height, but I'm going to say 22 feet up. My klutzy ass fell off the top of the structure that is on top of the really tall truck and then landed flat on my back. Just straight, like, whatever the back term of a belly flop is. Knocked the breath out of my lungs. One thing that kind of sucked. But the problem is I'm in the military and they give you the helmets. You can't go up on tall things without the helmet. Probably did save me from a head injury. Don't get me wrong. But the problem is your head. This is horribly. Your head is a ball, and the way the military helmets are designed, they're not. So they're like over your head with some cushions like this. So I hit, but like I hit straight. So if this is my body and this is my pointlessly flailing hands, and that's my feet, I'm gonna put this up higher so you idiots don't say that's something else. And this is how I hit. The problem is the helmet hit first, and this is strapped to your neck, like with a bunch of, it's an army helmet. So you have like these things that go over your ears and they strap down here and shit. So it's all strapped and tight and can't let it be loose or whatever. So this hit first and shunted the head forward like the millisecond before the body hit. So that did something at the back of my neck. It, like I said, I think it just like tore a muscle or something. I don't know what the hell it tore, but this was in a deployed state, and it's not like you can get good, proper medical treatment. It's like, oh, are you okay? Are you okay? Oh, walk it off. You'll be fine. At that moment, you're just like, just had like the air knocked out of you and shit like that. So some issue to the neck isn't totally noticeable, but afterwards it just gets worse and worse, so on and so forth. Did someone get dwarfed in the middle of that? Gord did. Why is it just rolling ones today? Gord, oh, you're in the Clothes Makers Guild. Gord _ squash. When I'm old, I'm be jacked. About 2 to 3 thumbs to the side of the spine. Are you saying there's something over here? No, the actual, like, the thing that ends up feeling pain is more towards the middle, I think, from what you're saying. Gave you whiplash. Probably. I was on a ladder and thought the third step was a bomb step. I landed awkwardly on my foot leg, tore my right LCL, my knee apart from literally 3 feet. Don't really need to be too high up. I managed to fall off of one of those flipping bars so hard I stunned myself. I had to go to the hospital, it was fine, but they stuck my hair to the gurney thing, and it really sucked getting unstuck. Erected me falling sideways on a broken plastic patio chair. 2 feet. Yeah. Like I said, at the time, they were like, oh, you're fine. I think it was like one of the things that I didn't completely get credit for. Okay, he died of dehydration. That I didn't get credit for in the... it's called the CMP, the Compensation and Pension Exam, when you get out of the military. Basically, I've kind of been through this before, but whenever you get out of the military, especially if you have a complaint about anything, if you're like, if you want to submit a form, be like, my body's now broke. I mean, I was only in like 6 to 7 years. Something in your body going to be broke. They make you do a compensation and pension exam, i.e. a reverse physical. They do a physical when you go into the military to be like, do you qualify to be in the military? But if you say anything has been injured at all, or if anything has been made worse, they give you another physical to try to prove, no, you are fit. That's what I'm calling it, a reverse physical. They give you another set of medical exams and physicals to be like, you're not injured. You're as good as the day we gave you. So they give you those. So, because part of it was also like, I technically took a head injury. I was like, I wasn't walking. I was out of breath. Freaking bell was wrong, everything like that. And they're like, yeah, no, sorry, that's not a head injury. No traumatic brain injury here, but maybe we'll give you 0% on a neck injury. I was like, with the way I got the injury, are you certain you didn't do something to my head? Are you completely certain? They're like, well, you didn't get checked right then to see if you had a concussion or anything, so we don't think you did. I'm in the middle of the Middle East desert. I didn't get it. Oh, no, that was out of jet. I'm like, I'm in the, like, whatever my NCO says goes. He didn't send me to go to a doctor, the medic, to see if I had a freaking brain injury. So I don't think that's how this is supposed to work. And they're like, yeah, no, we have no proof at that moment that you had a TBI, and there's not a real easy way to tell now. So, well. Okay, whatever. Just give me the neck injury then. My mother once stepped wrong on a stair and somehow managed to break 3 bones without falling or tripping. Oh. Everyone's like, oh my God, are you okay? And I was just laying there like, huh? What the fuck just happened? Why can't I move? Just send them free shaking proof of brain damage. Look at what you've done to me. No, that one I'm gonna have to agree with them on that one and be like, no, I think that one was neck. Because like I said, the next morning could not move head. And I was like, oh, maybe something is here. Like I said, it sorted itself out though. We made you a man. You were nothing when you arrived. Whining about a missing leg. Goddamn, boy, you should pay us disability. I mean, you're not wrong. I saw a video about it recently. That was basically summed up the like kind of the absurdity. Oh, I shouldn't have gotten rid of that floor yet. The absurdity of being in the military, which is you can be depending upon your position. I was responsible for millions of dollars of equipment. Like I had to sign off on, make sure it was all there, make sure it was working, good quality, maintenance, all that good jazz. Millions of dollars responsibility on me. There were at times I was in command of units of troops and had entire geographical regions underneath my defense. I was responsible for their lives. Not trusted to have a microwave in my bedroom. Or sorry, a toaster in my bedroom. There you go. That sums up everything you need to know. You want a what? For what reason? Oh, hell no. Can't have a toaster, but we're gonna make you responsible for millions of dollars of equipment, fucking thousands to millions of people's lives, whatever. That's all cool. Toaster in your bedroom? Get the fuck out of here. Who are you kidding? Keep the toaster in the bathroom. What could go wrong? He made a perfect Morian. It's a gem. I thought that was going to happen earlier. $4,800 gem. This is a perfect Morian. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. On the item is an image of a desert lime tree. Cool. Because that wasn't a rule before. Hey, Bahun to me. How's it going? Keep the toaster in the bathroom. What could go wrong? So yeah, if no one knew about that, if you try even claiming that that you have now something is slightly worse than when you went in, the army will 100% be like, nope, physical time. We're gonna prove you wrong. I didn't think that was necessary, but okay. But there is a weird amount of shit that they will then give you credit for. Be like, yep, that's on us. Good luck with that. The forest retreat of Chain Satin, a half a day's travel to the southwest, has been conquered. Are we at war with the elves? What the hell? What is Chain Satin? We're not at war with the elves. Chain Satin. This hurts my brain. What? The human forest retreat of Chain Satin is under Dwarven government. Yeah, no shit, the site government is the problematic league. How does that make sense? It was an elven forest, because if it's human, it's not called a forest retreat. So it was elven. The elves are at war with the humans, I guess? We're not at war with either one of them. The humans took over it and then just bent the knee to the local Dwarven government to go neener, neener, boo, boo. You can't attack me because now we're Dwarven? Is that what this is? What kind of political shenanigans caused the human forest retreat to be under Dwarven rule? No. The wood chips did not help. We've been following the stream for a long time. Fully understand you doing a big important maker. Yeah, cannot use simple tools. Dwarves dehydrate. No. Because it's not even us. That's just something that, like, I don't think right now in our mode we can't do anything. Like, if I raid it, I think we go to war with ourselves. So it's a confederacy of towns. It's not even our government, is it? There's a human castle right below us. Why is there a human castle here? But yeah, that's not our civilization. How are you economically linked? What the? I don't understand. I do not understand that one. But like, yeah, like I said, weirdest things though. They'll just be like, nope, that's definitely us. Went in kind of a bit of flat-footed. I'm fairly certain I've definitely said this before, but not enough that I couldn't get into the military. Just flat. But after all of the marching and the rucksacks, the marching, the running, all that good jazz, compress the spine a bit, compress the knees, definitely compress the feet. Where then I was like, dude, it kind of hurts to stand. Like my feet are definitely jacked. They did like not that much on it. And they're like, yeah, no, you had flat foot before, but now we definitely made it worse. So we're going to give you a rating for that. So like I had a thing going in. So like whatever you can get in with, if they made it worse, they'll give you credit for that too. It doesn't have to be a we caused this. It's a we made that worse. Okay. Like I said, it's the weirdest thing. There's some things that they're like super don't even try this with you. But then there's a bunch of other ones that they're like, yeah, okay, we'll give you that. Like obviously we give you that. Like I feel like they're like bipolar kind of. We were, oh wait, hold on. I'm building, oh no, I am digging there. It's like the Hospitalers Air Force. According to the Toady post, all sites, no matter what, as long as they can communicate with you, get linked up to the closest market site. Uh-oh. Why is collapse? Because you built the wall diagonally first? Well, as long as everyone lives. I don't think we have to worry. So we're the closest market site. Oh, okay. So what did it? Yeah, it was conquered by the humans. The humans are not a market site with the elves because I guess they're at war. And because we're the closest peaceful site, we are who they economically link to. I get it. That makes sense. Yes, we're the closest depot. Maybe there's an elf that is closer, which there is, but the humans conquered it. It means the humans are at war with the elves, so it would not link to that one. And then I guess this one's too small to have one, so we got it. That's how that worked. Yeah, the elves were taken over by the humans. That is now a forest. What is going on with the game? Can we? There we go. Let's start getting a... I don't know if that was just a syncing issue or if, like, we just randomly lost 40 frames for a few seconds for no reason. Maybe it was just a syncing issue. Maybe just everyone decided at that moment to sync up. Build construction. That wall collapsed. I got to build the floor out there to build the wall again. Yeah, no, don't worry. We don't spy their war efforts. We're not at war. The funny thing though is I wonder if this means we're not going to get any trade things from the elves. Like the humans built right by us. There's a tomb here. Did you guys know we had built right by a tomb? Yeah, we're like right in amongst all the elven and human buildings. Yeah, I think there oh my fuck, that's a big elven site. I don't think I've seen an elven site in the 2000s. Is that like their capital? Do I need to burn that to the ground? All right, we have to watch out for that because as soon as we pick a fight with the elves, We're gonna get a lot of dire bears. I don't know what a tomb does. I'm assuming it's someone's lair. The government is the Fords of pregnancy. Can you mine gold from tomb raiding? I don't think so. Maybe in adventure mode, but even then I'm not entirely sure. In fortress mode, you can raid. You can raid it and you can do things, but you would not mine whatever is in the wall there. So if someone has already mined the gold and turned it into like a craft or coins or something, then your raiding would steal that. But your guys will not. The entire map could be made of solid gold. They could be walking on gold, breathing in gold dust, and they wouldn't touch it unless it was already an item separate to itself. They will not just mine on their own. No, I'm not raiding a damn tomb. Why would I raid a tomb right now? In 1947, after a post-World War II peace treaty forbade Italy to own or operate bomber aircraft and only operate a limited number of transport aircraft, the Italian Air Force opted to transfer some of its Savoia Marchetti SM-82 aircraft to the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, pending the definition of their exact status. The SM-82 were properly long-range transport aircraft that could be adapted for bombing missions. These aircraft were operated by the Italian Air Force personnel temporarily. So, I can't have planes, but they're their planes, but I'll use them. Is that what that's telling me? Is it a sad thing that my knowledge of geography and history is so curtailed to up to and including World War II? I don't know where the hell Malta is. That dang old Texas education. Malted milk is all you gonna be getting around here. I mean, it's like the one viewer we had. I don't know if he's still around. I think he was from somewhere that was in Yugoslavia or Czechoslovakia. But of course, he wasn't. He was from one of the things that they became after World War II or near the end of it. But my dumbass is like, is that Yugoslavia? The fuck are you talking about? It's a little island south of Sicily. Oh! I know what you're talking about now. Yeah, it's the little island that the British and the Italians fight over in Hoy. I think I know exactly what you're talking about. There's... the Egypt. You have where you come in the Egypt, and you have where you come in by Spain. And there is like the Bear Islands or something. There's the big island, and then there's a little tiny island that like everyone like either fights over or ignores. And is that what you're talking about? Is that the tiny island? Is that what you were talking about? I think I honestly know exactly what you're talking about as soon as you were like little island. Yeah. Why do I know more about geography and history from fucking video game? Oh my god, my education was mostly garbage. The sad thing is, if you want to ensure that you have a gap in your education, just transfer states. Transfer states mid-education. That'll really make nothing make sense. I transferred from a Texas school in high school to a Massachusetts school, right? And when you're there and they're like, okay, yeah, you're going to join our classes. Now, there was a class in Texas for that I hadn't done classes. Like, I'd gone to classes. I forget what it was. There was an issue. Like there was something that according to the Texas school system I needed. Like, I was behind. But I wasn't. Like all the classes they'd given me and I had taken, I was excelling at. But somehow, according to their system, like when they gave us the paperwork, there was like a paper that was like, he's only done 3 years of this, not 5 or whatever. I forget what the hell it was. The problem is, Texas does a lot more classes, but they each have less time. So like in a school day in Texas, I'd had like 7 classes or 8 classes. I'm making up a number there. I don't remember the exact number. But in a Massachusetts school, like they're each like an hour and a half, not 50 minutes or something like that. So you only have like 6 classes in a day, meaning that whatever those classes are though, they go more in depth. So whereas I'd only done say 3 years, like you would think I'd done like 1, 2, and 3. It didn't count that way when I switched to Massachusetts. They just like looked at the straight numbers. Like there's not like this class is that class in your state. So according to Massachusetts school, in my senior year of high school, I only had to take 1 class to graduate. Every other class, it did not matter, was not what I needed to actually graduate. But remember, I come from Texas, so all those numbers weren't right. It's like, oh, you've taken 4 semesters or years or whatever of this class, but each of those years, semesters block of instruction was for like a class that was like 40 minutes long, as opposed to a Massachusetts like hour and a half. So Texas education. And then when I got to Massachusetts, which you'd be like, oh, you got a much better education there, I essentially skipped an entire year of education. And the school system was like, well, this is the numbers we have. We have no clue to figure out where the discrepancy would be. So whatever, it's on your record. Have at it. So I essentially, like, it's not the right number, but just mix 2 years of Texas education with 1 year Massachusetts education for high school and just delete that extra year. Like that is my education. Like I said, I excelled at what I had and what I did, but if it wasn't given to me, I never took it. So somewhere in there, I don't think I ever really, like, what I did do for geography and history is just not enough. The Knights Hospitaller, I actually think I know of that organization. Spent most of the time between the Crusades and 20th century fighting pirates and the Turks. But you do believe they were belligerent in World War I. Well, that makes sense. World War I was insane. You seriously need a slab room. Fuck. I keep forgetting the slabs. I've got the slabs. I built the slabs. Where's my craft dwarf? Engrave a slab to that ghost. To Erdim. To Chulu. Damn it. Deller, Erdim, to Chulu, Letast, Hellfire, Death Star, Iral. We're gonna go with that. The problem is we have too many damn dead people. I don't know how many slabs I made. We'll go with that for now and see if it works. You have quite the convoluted transcript. Yo, that's my life. All right, this is where you saw the wiggle wang. All right, this is your videographic proof of a wiggle wang. Could still connect was likely. This one I don't think is that, because this one would have to update here and then there. There's too many updates. So I think we'll be discussed that it could still connect was. Where's your wiggle wang? That's the circle. We addressed that. You said no. What you have for a wiggle wang, or what you're claiming as a wiggle wang, is that circle. This is what you're claiming as a wiggle wang. Like that circle that's down here is just what was up here, but I trimmed off some of the wall. This is what this is your wiggle wang. It's a circle. It's a circle. I do not see a wang. No. No. And it's not even like the booba thing where it's like there is a shape, but clearly it can't be because this is a straight line, and that is not actually what a booba is. There's no Wang there, my friend. You have Wang on the mind. I mean, the shape has definitely changed since then, but even that's not a wiggle Wang. It's just a circle. At that point, any curve is a wiggle Wang. I could have graduated in 3 years. I wanted to stay longer to be able to see my friends, and the pandemic happened, so it didn't matter. The Knights of Malta is the Knights Hospitaller equals the Knights of St. John. They were in the Pope's Navy for centuries, and everyone pretends they're a country still. And everyone pretends they're a country still. That's so fucked. Not they're still recognized country, not they are still a country, not they have since gained country. Everyone pretends they're a country. Oh, that is a jab that I don't think they necessarily deserved. Also, it's gonna be able to help design my senior prom, but we didn't get one. It's an island nation. Wiggle Wing? Yeah. Island nations can be countries. Being a country, being an island doesn't mean you're not a country. No, really, they don't own anywhere. They have an office building in Rome. Oh, like that's all they have. You're saying they literally don't even have that island. I thought you were saying the island was it. Well, I mean, they have to. They have to own something because the smallest country is Rome. So if you're saying Malta only owns an office in Rome, they would theoretically be a smaller country. So they have to own something. We had a drive-through graduation. We had a drive-through graduation. That sounds so scuffed. you just pull up. What are you having? I'd like. Can I get top of my class? And I like a side order of a few extracurricular activities. And do you have any more like club presidents or anything that would look like leadership skills? No, sorry, we do not. The leadership machine's broken right now. All right, I guess I'll just go with the side of fries. A drive-through graduation. Yeah, I'll go whole hog. Is valedictorian still in stock? Straight up, we drove up, got our cap and gown, and took the picture in the parking lot. Oh, no. No, that's so bad. I mean, I kind of get why. I mean, like, if they're being, like, you know, okay, medical and all that good jazz, but if it wasn't for that, that would sound like super scuff. Buy the Polaroid or you didn't graduate. You have to get the picture in the graduation gown. Bit of a question concerning the early parts of the game. Is there a defined wealth level in which the other areas first look to your fortress for economic prosperity? Kleino might, if he's still here, might be able to answer that slightly better than me, but I want to say yes. I have no hard numbers behind it, but the beginning of the game, nothing bothers you before 20 dwarves. I know you're saying more of a wealth thing, and I think wealth is more required for invasions and random events. So I think there is probably a checkpoint for it to test. even if all it's checking for is a market point, which would be a trade depot, technically having a trade depot is an economic prosperity level over not having a trade depot. So I think there is a prerequisite, but I don't know if it is a prerequisite like what you're talking about. Because I don't think you can get anything to happen before 20 dwarves. One which, yeah. Like there is an economic prosperity thing. And normally for those things, it checks two things. Money you've generated and money you've traded. Money you've traded, I think, gets rated at, essentially, gets rated at 10 times the level as money that you've created. If you, I'm going to make up numbers here, but imagine if one of the checks was you need to have generated 100,000 dwarf bucks worth of wealth. You can also trigger that same limit if you've traded away like 10,000. I suppose the idea is to see if it was required wealth versus like just wealth. So there is that. That triggers for a lot of things. Wealth triggers gobos. Yeah. I once had it happen in a nation, looked at my fort for future, and it didn't even have the trade depot up and running. So yeah, no, it doesn't need a trade depot. So yeah, I don't know what the limit is, but yes, there are limits to those sort of events in the game. Like, I don't know how it would work necessarily in the Steam version. I don't know. I got to get into one of their forums. Maybe someone's already said it and like send something to them. But I genuinely think that there kind of needs to be like a tutorial baby mode for Dwarf Fortress. And all it does, like it wouldn't take much in terms of programming. All it does is hard limit you to 19 dwarves. If you have extra dwarves for some reason, some of them leave and you just get others. Like it doesn't even try to do the normal, like who wants to move their thing. It just gets you to 19 dwarves and deal, because none of the actual gameplay features triggers until you have usually at least 20 dwarves, as far as I'm aware. Like, I'm not even sure what I would call that. Like I said, tutorial's not even the right thing. But if someone hasn't played Dwarf Fortress for the first time ever, you can make sure they don't get completely blasted out of nowhere by making sure a lot of the more advanced features don't come up. For instance, just a manager. Like, getting someone to practice with how a manager works, you can start a game right now and be like, I want a manager. You don't need an office, or you don't need a noble. You don't need anything for a manager to work. I mean, you do need someone appointed as a manager. You don't need anyone until 20 dwarves. Once you have above 20 dwarves, your manager needs an office and things like that. So, like, if you just wanted to, like, actually mess around with conditions or whatever, you could technically test it out at the beginning of a game. Once it becomes more complicated, then you start having issues. And it's not much more things. Like I said, he basically just needs an office. But now you also have to wait time for him to go do the actual thing. Stuff like that. So I think, like, a lot of stuff, and it's such a low bar level, a lot of stuff is behind the 20 dwarves limit. So I don't know. I don't know if that's just a crazy idea I have. I don't know if that's even like worth floating across to anyone. But I think if someone's going to be learning the game, you'd have a much easier time learning it if that 20 dwarf limit wasn't crossed. If you don't cross the 20 dwarf limit, I think the game will be a lot easier to have a chance to learn. No requirement but proximity. Okay. I scrolled through a wiki. It's been said to not smelt gold in the early stages due to likelihood of being immediately raided. Created wealth. If you want to be sure, you can get a Duke embark near other sites. You'd have more generated wealth. Gold ore is worth more slightly than stone prices. So when you're going to go to war with the elves, gold bar is worth a small bit. Going to war with the elves is probably maybe going to happen, but it's not going to happen for a minute. Couple things. One, we're right by their capital. Like, I don't like back down from a fight with the elves. But I think in this particular case, out of the sheer amount that they could probably bring to bear in a siege, I might want to make sure I'm capable of handling it first. Like, cause they've had one elf when we got trucked because they happen to have, was it dire polar bears? And it said that there was one elf. I don't want to know what they have when they have, where did that structure go? When it claims that they have 2,000. Because if we fight an elf right here, that is what's coming for us. And I just don't want to deal with that. Because if that was 10, like if that was 10 100 sites, you're only getting invaded by a site at once. You know what I'm saying? You'd only get invaded by one site at once. You're not going to have a problem. If it's a site that says 2,000, it could hit the invasion limit, I believe. And my invasion limit is 120 plus 40 monsters. So I could get hit by 170 in one go and then just keep doing it. Like, even if somehow I killed all 170, it's less than 1/10. They'll just do it again. So I'd probably win a few fights with them, but I honestly think that they would win the battle of attrition there. There's no way I would be taking out a bigger percentage of their troops than they're taking out of mine. Hold on. We engraved the slabs. I gotta bury them now. Build, Alt S. There you go. That should get rid of some of our first ghosts. Dire pandas. That's what they want. They're hanging water vegetable gardens. By the way, all right. This needs to continue. Rambutan. Oh, piney buru 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 buri. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna post that shit in Discord. Now that you guys have made me remember those stupid commercials from earlier, that it just keeps coming back in my head. It is, not only is it living in my head rent free, but it keeps kicking, it keeps knocking on the bathroom door when I'm in there. Oh, piney boo 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 boo. Oh, piney turned into fruits. Like, they say it that way. They say turned into fruits. F-W-U-I-T-S. They say fruits. It was the stupid, goofiest commercial. I loved watching it. I had never had any clue what they were trying to sell me. Were they selling me, like, baby milk? Were they selling me milk? Was milk involved? Were they selling me a book? I never knew what it was trying to sell me. Something, baby Sheba. Baby Sheba turned into fruits. That's what it was called. Baby Sheba turned into fruits. Baby Sheba fruits. Yes, Melon Sheba. So wait, real quick. It's like a 30-second thing. Have patience, please. I know some of you don't have patience, but have patience, please. Window capture? All right. Real quick. This goofy fucking commercial. Mama Shiba. I have no clue. They would just do this commercial. They would just do these damned commercials. That wasn't even like the full one. We were on the post, so I think we got like English ones because that one did not say turned into fruits. So maybe because I was on post, some of our things had like English, or they attempted English, because that was not attempted in that one. Oh wait, no, this is the other one. This is supposed to go out this far. But yeah, no, that was just this weird commercial we just kept getting. Baby Shiba, Mama Shiba. Well, I mean it. Do you want it? I won't put the video on, but did you need it louder? I saw so you could hear like the beat or whatever. Fine. You don't need a video again. Like I said, it's puns or something.
Mama Shiba. Baby Shiba がフルーツになったでちゅ。おっぱいにメロメロメロンシバ。おっぱいスイスイスイカシバ。おっぱいやだもんレモンシバ。おっぱいリンリンリンゴシバ。おっぱいにスケダチスダチシバ。おっぱいランランランブータン。
That's it. That's it. It's just this fucking commercial that I'd play. Just remember, don't touch. Because the thing is, what it does is they all just apparently, like, because they had different versions of that commercial. Some of them showed the damn thing driving a car. It was really weird. They're saying like it's eating a fruit or something, or it's going to turn into a fruit. So they just say the fruit plus their name. Opaini buru 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 buri opaini Marin Shiba. That's what they say. But then like they always ended on something weird like Ron or like whatever the Ron fruit is, and they would just say Ron Bouton. So there's a pun or something happening. whatever the joke is, I don't know. It's an earworm. It just gets in your head and it never leaves. Ooh, someone has linked Sonic.
Mama Shiba.
Oh, that's the car one. Probably too loud. I'm sorry. But like, what is it selling? What the fuck is a baby Shiba? Puro Shiba. Yeah, dude, I have no clue. It is the weirdest shit. I loved it. I love that commercial. As stupid as it sounds, like you'd have all these other commercials like, whatever, fucking Hyundai, you know, fucking whatever the hell car they were trying to sell at the time. Fucking, it's like Nissan, things like that. I was like, oh yeah, cool. You know what? Baby Shiba, like, yeah, Baby Shiba. This stupid fucking commercial. Baby Shiba turned into sweets. It's super fresh. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. What do you mean can't access? Build construction wall. You go down. They can't get onto that side at all. Damn it. Okay, I can work with this. There is a ramp here. I've covered it with a floor. If I uncover that ramp, we can go down. They're not quite a bean nor a dog, but rather a hybrid of both. They love to appear out of nowhere and offer random trivia, whether you asked for it or not. But what does that mean? What does that even mean? Should we move the farms? No, not yet. This would be a good area for it. My issue is, I think the farms, I'm going to do it down here. I'm going to set the farms up outside in mud. Because otherwise, like this, we need these for ranching. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to have animals, we're going to need actual grass for ranching. So I don't think I can use this or this for farmland. Meaning all this area that counts as above ground down here, if I pour mud on it, should work. So that is where we're going, like our first layer, I guess, is where we're going to be having our mud. This is where we're going to be having some of our farms. Up here is ranching and like the farm workshops and the clothing workshops, stuff like that. Your dwarves can be self-sustainable after 6 dwarves. That's all you need to feed, booze 6 dwarves, have crafting goods to trade. Now that's could be fixed at some point. Essentially, it's cheesing the math on it. Not to toot my own horn. And the primary channel, not the archive channel. The archive channel is where I post these videos. But in the primary YouTube channel, I have a series called the College of Dwarfology, where I break down individual topics. How does a minecart work? How does water physics work? One of them is how to survive with 6 dwarves. Like you have one dwarf doing a specific job, and it basically comes down to, I think, fish, 1, 2 farms for booze, and I think that's it. If I remember correctly, that's really all it was. Because you have the fisher, the fish cleaner, and then the crafts dwarf to turn it into crafts to sell. You have the farmer, the guy who brews it, and you need a wood guy to do the carpentry to make the barrels. If they're separate, it would be a 7th to be the lumberjack. That's all you need. Now, are your dwarves going to be the happiest or whatever? Or is this a fun thing to necessarily be doing? Not saying that. But you can generate enough of all your supplies to sustain 150 dwarves with 7. As long as they all are doing that job, and you make sure that, like, if you're doing those plants in that number, those plants are only used for brewing. They cannot be used for cooking. And possibly if you have enough plants going, you know, the dwarves can eat them. At least you're getting the seeds back, but they can't be used for cooking. If you're going to be doing cooking, then it has to be off the fish in that case. Like there is a division to make it work, and that will work. Rambutan. That's why I keep thinking of it. The rambutan wood and the frickin' thing at the end says rambutan. Sooner than later. With what? You know me, I'm not against backseating or anything like that. But our base is so open. What are you talking about? There's nowhere. We have nothing. We're not even close to a thing to lock down to prepare for an invasion. I'm a man out in the middle of a desert with nothing to see except sand dunes as far as the eye can see. And you're like, you know, we might need to bring water. This is why I'm trying to bring the circles around. This right here is the thing that needs to be completed for me to lock it down. This is what I'm trying to work on, because that doesn't do anything up here. There's not like a route, there's not like a stairwell or anything. This is the first security thing. I've got to get this done. The only other thing we have is this stairwell, which is not secure, and everyone's going to die. Also, I forgot to activate these beds, didn't I? Oh my god, how do we have any happy dwarves? All of them have got to be sleeping naked on the ground. I have no clue what I've done to make these dwarves happy. It is baffling to me. You know what I need to do next week? I've got a bunch of stuff to do, but I've got to put out college dwarfology videos. Minimum, I've recorded 4 different, like, legit topics. I've gotten them all so far as to be uploaded to YouTube over the past year. And for some reason, I never published any of them. Not for some reason, but like for one reason or another, I never published any of them. Every time I do something like for one of my topics, it makes me remember that I'd never published any of them. It makes me annoyed. 43 units without bedrooms, 16 unknown beds. We need at least 20 beds. Afterwards, we might need like only 4. It depends on how many couples we have. Nope, that is not what I thought it was. You're not the carpenter. You're the carpenter. Why am I doing it that way? I have a manager. 20 beds. Get them done. We don't have Soothing Mist yet, though. That's what I'm saying. This is secured. This has a roof. Like, they went through a bit of it earlier, but they didn't have much soothing mist to be dealing with. Hey, Storm, how's it going? 39. I did it a little bit last night. He's talking about Final Fantasy 14. I'm hoping, everyone. Final Fantasy 14 has released its update. There's like a 1 week early access time or something to play it if you pre-ordered the new expansion. So at some point, promise I got to get, oh my God, I might have to have like another day of streaming or something. So for those of you who remember from last time, we're going to be going back into it as the next expansion has dropped. But I just don't know when. What it's going to come down to is I'm going to need to reduce the amount I stream in a day. And then that way I could stream more days and have more topics of streaming. Because that's really what it comes down to. If I didn't have the archive channel, I'd be able to stream a shit ton more. Like, I'm completely serious. Like I said, think about it. Monday's stream, I think it ended up being like a 12 to 15 hour stream, is 80 gigabytes. 80. I'm not even entirely sure why it's that big. Like, I have it set to what YouTube says the settings need to be for the videos. Like, YouTube's like, if you have this, do that. If you have this, do that. Somehow, it's too much. I wonder if maybe it's because... Is it 60 frames? That might be it. I just had that thought right now. YouTube doesn't even stream in 60. I mean, it does, but like regular videos don't need to be in 60, do they? I wonder if that's been my issue the whole time. I wonder if I just did 30 fucking frames a second, what the sizes would be and what the time for encoding would be. I'm having an existential crisis. Do you need 60 FPS YouTube? I just had that thought. Hold on. Why has this never occurred to me? Settings. What am I recording at? Am I recording at 60? Are you going to tell me? I think my videos are 60 frames per second. Video recordings, 1122, 22 gigabytes, properties, details, 1920 by 1080 at 60 frames per second. Oh my fucking Lord. Yeah, you're right. I definitely don't need it for Dwarf Fortress. I'm not even sure the camera records in 60. How long have I been streaming and this just now occurred to me? Oh my God. That's where all the size goes. I'm if nothing else, I'm probably doubling it. Because the video capture card for game capture, I think like that captures, if everything goes well, which you know it's like the highest maximum is an HD 60 or something. Like I know that's only capturing in 60 the game. So the encoding doesn't need to be 60. Yeah. Unless it's high motion captures, you could probably still get away with 30 or 40 to 45. I don't need to be doing 60. Especially for like, yeah, especially for Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress ain't moving in 60. The only thing that moves is me here. Well, the beginning ones never really counted. Those ones had a smaller, like at the beginning, my file size wasn't that big. The issue with why it was big at that point is because of how long the videos were. But I've since gotten a stronger computer. So I probably looked at their numbers like, yeah, 60 frames per second. That makes sense. The only reason why I just now thought of that, the stupidity of this, the only reason why I just now thought of the 60 thing was for some reason in my head, I was like, movies aren't that big. Even that one movie, The Hobbit, was able to be stored on a disc, and that one got in trouble for like 48 frames a second, didn't it? So I don't know why that thought is why I was like, wait, why the hell am I doing 60? I'm going to have to check other people. Why are you only idiot doing 60? Well, other than like people they can hire to edit their things. That's the only reason why my things take so long. 6 months more than me. Time to queue more beds. No, I don't need to, Dragoman. We had the manager do it. I stopped trying to queue them. I forgot we had the manager. Like the Moist Ghost Snap game. That might have been good to use 60 on. This is true. Didn't I have an issue with that recording, though? I feel like I had an issue with that recording. Isn't that the one I had spliced the audio back on because something went weird? So that one's at 720. I think that one's at one of them went weird. Something around that time. One of the audio is just going porky right now to begin with. I just want a program that works. The problem is if you go onto YouTube and you're like, how does make program just work? You're not going to get a good answer. Let me sum up every answer ultimately. Delete your computer, try again. If none of you have ever had to deal with trying to Google on a forum an actual like, how do I fix this for a computer program nowadays, it's always just going to be uninstall everything and try again. If you've used the program for 2 years, it's been perfectly, and then they did an update, sorry, delete your program, try again. If you've just installed it and worked weird after a week, or you turned a setting on and that won't go back, uninstall your whole program, try again. It's like the new version of turn it off, turn it back on. Everyone's just like, just burn everything to the ground. Like there's never a what setting is causing this, why is this misbehaving? No one knows anything anymore on computers, other than like if somehow you were able to go into I'm forgetting the name of the programming forums, something stack. I'm forgetting the first word of the forums. Everything is just uninstall, reinstall. Even Steam is doing that nowadays. That's basically what a verify your game cache is just uninstall the game and maybe reinstall, except slightly more contained. But even then, if you find any forum where someone in Steam where they're saying, I verified my game cache, it still doesn't work, they're just going to say uninstall the entire game, reinstall it. Jesus. What are you gonna run in Endwalker, Reaper or Sage? I was thinking White Mage. I know it's a bit unusual for me. No, if I'm needing to be entertaining and try one of the new classes, probably Reaper. The problem is that while I don't try to be too I'll say elitist about classes or anything in a game such as Final Fantasy 14 where anyone can literally be any class, I'm going to be elitist about my choice of White Mage. That is the healer I'm going to do. I'm not going to do like I'll level it up, but I'm not going to like it. I'll level up Astrologian, I will level up Scholar, but I'm a White Mage. They're going to give me a new thing called Sage. Oh, I'll level that up, but I'm not a Sage. If it's any of the other types, cool. Yeah, I'll be a Gladiator. I'll be a Paladin. I'll be a Gunbreaker. I'll be a Dark Knight. Cool. Oh, DPS, Black Mage, frickin' Bard, frickin' Monk, whatever. Anything other than maybe Dragoon, I'll do it. Healer, it's White Mage. That is the only allowed choice. And the day they take my benediction away from me is the day that I say something bad on the internet and get in trouble, because I will have an hour-long rant about why does everyone ruin everything I love if they get rid of benediction from my White Mage. I love my benediction. There's just something. You guys know me. I love extreme words. I love something that ignores numbers in a numbers game and just says, this is that. And benediction says, that dude full healed. Doesn't matter how much damage he's taken. Doesn't matter if somehow you can calculate something in like a shield that would prevent more than their total health. It doesn't matter what the number is. I don't care if something else is stronger. The fact that benediction says set them to full is fucking brilliant. I love it. Toy Imp, thank you so much for following. He plays Darren in Final Fantasy IX. You mean Final Fantasy 14? And yes.
Thank you so much.
My name may be Vivi or Onicia, but I definitely play like I'm Darren from Wrath of the Righteous. That you're the only idiot doing 60. Well, have I been here that long? Because like at 6 hours, you pushed random buttons and muted yourself to recording. And then about an hour later, somehow unmuted. Because you tried to change film types. That's what it was. Fresh operating system. When in doubt, blame Windows. Oh no, there's a badger. Problem is we don't have a tavern. I don't know why my dwarves are happy. I don't have anything. That's not a tavern. That's a temple. That's a temple dedicated to no god. Over here, this isn't a tavern. It's not a tavern. It's a meeting hall. It's technically a dining room. It's not a tavern. I have one temple, and it's just a random sit in this 20-foot square, pray to whatever the hell you want that we live. I don't have anything set up. I do not know why I have dwarves down here that are like, this is the best place ever. Come here for happiness. I have no clue. I have no clue. It's kind of terrifying me. They increased benediction costs to rare rune requirement. I don't know what that means. It got RuneScaped. Currently playing Samurai. Well, no, because you can't use it that often. It is the white mage's oh shit button. Like every class has a this is my trump card. This is my ultimate. This is my big thing. I think I can only do it like once every 2 minutes at most. They might have just buffed it. Every ability white mage has, they buffed. Do you guys remember when I did the last expansion? And it was like, I even kept saying, my abilities are a bit too strong. So white mage can at times actually be kind of boring because I have to do so little during a lot of these because my abilities are that strong. They buffed the abilities. Either the strength of them went up or they reduced the mana cost by like 25% so I could do more. They reduced all the cast times from like a 2-second timer down to a 1.5 second timer. So I could just cast them faster. Who was having, oh God, I can't cast my spells fast enough issues with the white mage? I have no clue. Who that, I'm like, don't get me wrong, I'll take the buff. I'll take whatever buff you want to give me. I just don't know why that was needed. I don't know who sat there and was like, you know what? The white mage is only healing everyone all the time and constantly just like doing damage and waiting for people to get injured. Let's make them heal even faster. Okay. And while we do it, let's make each heal stronger. Okay. I don't know why. They moved creature handlers. I had 2 pets at a skill they said took damage before me, even in PvP. Why are you getting so many migrants if you don't have anything? I don't know. What have I even been doing? Like, we did some digging for stone, but like literally I haven't done much. I've just done construction and like they're all just flooding in. They're like, great, this is the greatest place to be. We heard about you on the news. Like, who has told you about me? Explain yourself. This one I'm going to change out for 3x1. But yeah, no, it even as a side thing, as a slight actual why it's the superior class, it was already just so simple. They made it stronger. So like, it's more of a question of why would I do any other healing class? Like, oh, they got great rotationals. And don't get me wrong, it is a genuine thing to say it's probably more interesting, maybe, to play some of the other healing classes over white mage, as it is so damn simple. I could see that argument, but other than that argument of, well, it's more fun if the game, you know, is harder to be doing. It's more of a challenge. if I'm not playing for the challenge, what other argument is like? I'll seed that one. I will seed that one. As the other healing classes, particularly in combat and stuff like that, the game is a bit more challenging and there is more variety to do. So I'll seed that loss. Other than that loss, what is the reason why I wouldn't just do what I'm already doing? And whatever your answer is, I probably disagree. whatever that incoming answer is, I probably disagree. The fact that they got rid of the summoner's hellish rotation time, holy shit, they insta-cast near everything now. Dude, I don't know why they're doing that. Like, they're making the almost, you know what they're doing? Well, they're not, this isn't what they're doing, but this is kind of like what they're approaching doing. They're turning it from an RPG where you have, like, abilities and casting times. I'm wondering if they're nervous about, there's, like, 2 RPGs that have been in development for, like, years that are, like, slowly getting through their alphas. Forgetting their names right now, but they're skill-based RPGs. Like, you have to move to physically, like, dodge the incoming attack, and like your moves are all cast while you're on the move. I'm wondering if they're slowly bringing Final Fantasy 14 to not necessarily do that, but to be close enough that they don't have to worry about that being a market competition. Because you're reducing it to 1.5 seconds. Essentially what that's doing is it's saying you have to stop moving for 1.5 seconds. Because you can move anywhere else. And if you have a high enough, I'm forgetting the one stat, you get leeway on that time. If you start moving at the beginning or near the end, you won't lose a spell immediately. So I'm wondering if, like, the more they shorten the time and the higher your stat is there, if at some point you can just move through it. Now 1.5 is still too long to just move through it. But they're approaching it. They are approaching it. Please come back up before I build that wall. Thank you. So I'm wondering if that's what they're trying to head off. Like, to make it be more of a, oh, this is an active time MMO sort of thing. It could be. And I'm not playing, not against them for it. Not being like, well, that's dumb. They need to do this. Like, hey, if that's what they want to, like, that it has its own pros, it has its own cons. If they want to do this, what they want to do. But I'm wondering if that's what they're doing. Oh, who had a possession? Where is Saxzul? He hasn't... Okay, he claimed a Dwarf. Is he moving? All right, he's moving. He's fine then. I have faith in him living. I don't think Yoshi P would ever do that. Well, so you say that, but here's the thing. Yoshi P's success is off the fact that he did that. Like, I'm going to do a back in my day. The original Final Fantasy 14 was extremely static combat. So, like, the way martials and non-magic works right now is exactly what I'm talking about. If it doesn't have a cast time, if it's an instant with a cooldown, that's more of an active style gameplay thing. That is stuff Yoshi P did. So he's already done that. Like, it's been done. The only thing at this point is to make the mages more like that. And don't get me wrong, I don't think he's ever going to go full, like, complete instant. But if you reduce the time, you can tune the gameplay to be more like that. Which is, like I said, what he already did. Before he did Final Fantasy 14, Yoshi P hadn't done a Final Fantasy game. He did the other one. Dragon Slime? The one with the blue slimes. He did that one. He had done JRPGs, but he hadn't done a Final Fantasy thing. So he went from what they had to what we have now. And he took, like, the old engine that they had and he stopped using it. He was like, nope, we're going to get rid of that. That's not what we're using at all. And so what we have now basically was all his initial decision. He might have gotten kickback due to some of, like, the devs and shit that were still there, but he's like, anything that's instant now is something he already put in. Dragon Quest, thank you. Yes, Coca-Cola, I should have remembered Slime Girls. Obviously, we're talking about Slime Girls. Silly me and my horrendous memory. Obviously, the correct answer, Slime Girls. So he could just be moving more towards that. For all we know, that's, like, That could have literally been something he was trying to do from the beginning, and he only got the approval or whatever he needed to do for the martial characters, and he couldn't make the argument for the casters, so now he's just slowly tweaking it. I don't know. But I don't think that's what he's entirely doing. That's what I'm wondering is, like, are they trying to lean more towards that style of gameplay, again, to offset, like, the big draw to the games that are going to be coming out within, like, the next year or two? Because you have to remember, like, they can do little updates in, like, the post-game content, but they only ever do, like super turbo major game-changing of things, like, with an expansion. With an expansion or something's gone wrong. Like, everyone waits, like, whenever an expansion news comes out, everyone waits to see what the new class structure is like. So, I'm, like, he might do other things, but I think he's, like, trying to plan for what's coming out between the expansions. Not his competitor now, which is WoW, who is dead. DED dead. But who his competitor is going to be by the next expansion. Because those other games whose names I cannot remember, they're going to be coming out by that point. So if he has to set the groundwork now, so it's not as big of a sticker shock's the wrong term, but you know what I mean. Later, for when he does have to do some sort of change to try to match whatever might be going on, that might be what he's doing. And if the counter argument to that is Yoshi P wouldn't change gameplay that much to try to get in new players and stuff because he loves Final Fantasy and he's a great honest person. I'm not like besmirching his honor, but he did do horrible, in my opinion, horrible changes to crafting. People complained about it, that, like, I don't like the new players, like, this is too dense for us to get into, and he, in my opinion, he nerfed crafting to the ground. So yes, he will. Just because he hasn't done it to a main class yet. Well, actually, kind of is. He got rid of the cross-class abilities a long time ago. He's done it before. Just because now it's accepted that what he did doesn't mean that there wasn't a major gameplay thing that he was like, well, we're just going to drop this. And he just got rid of it. Was it good? Was it wrong? That's not what I'm saying. I'm not arguing the merits of his decision. I'm arguing whether or not he would do something like that. And he has done something like that before. So it's not unheard of. The real question is, would he see merit in doing it? Because I know my opinion on what crafting and stuff should be isn't necessarily everyone else's, particularly new players. So, you know, I'm not in the opinion that I'm in the right here, but it's been done before. It has been done before. Is this where it starts curving in? Nope. One more before it starts curving in. All right. I'm going to finish up on this thing, filling in this hole with wood. Because again, this is supposed to kind of be impenetrable. When this wall does get completed and I figure out what the actual entrance is going to be, we can't have there being a hole in the roof. That's just a security. No, that's a very bad idea. So you're saying is this has been an extremely long run beta for a game that's released almost a decade ago? What? No. I'm saying is he's constantly updating it. Doesn't mean it's a beta. No. The game has 100% been out of beta for a long time. If you want to say that there's been an extended time that you would consider beta, I would say probably like the initial game and then the first expansion. And the only reason why I would consider that a beta, and for most things, no, like definitely not legit game, is because they were purposely handicapping themselves, trying to program around the capabilities of, I think, the PS3 at the time. And as soon as they did one of the expansions to drop the PS3, a lot of the action and gameplay and abilities became more fluid. The maps became more vertical. There was definitely like a difference between the PS3 era of this game and the we're not programming for PS3 anymore era of the game. So it wasn't a beta at the time. To steal a term from TV tropes, it was growing the beard. Like Riker growing the beard. You can look it up. TVtropes.com. growing the beard. You'll understand what I'm saying. They grew the beard when they dropped trying to program for PS3. So either call that they grew the beard or anything before that, consider that some weird extended beta. Basically, they were trying to do something. It didn't work. So any of their programming decisions that were no longer being held by, if you count everything before that as like a beta because they were trying an idea and then they eventually were like, no, this is dumb and not working. That I would consider possibly if you want it to be like an extended beta, because you can definitely tell a difference between like their programming decisions and capabilities before then to after then. Also, you talking about the modern Final Fantasy? I think that was more for all the world he pulled in. I remember a lot bitching about mechanics. It to fry forge get fit the wind record to this react yours as tis 3DR T35 forget or get her lap. What? Cleaned my keyboard. Caps lock. Makes sense. Skyrim 5, The Elder Scrolls, the 5th release, Omega Edition. I'm so tired of Skyrim releases. Well, they won't pay modders. So they're really squeezing out the last of TS5 milk. Hard and milkable companion I had. They're still changing major mechanics. Is the Moo Dwarf still moving? Anniversary Edition is balding. You're talking about major mechanics in Final Fantasy 14? Well, yes. So here's the thing. There is a, this looks wrong. Why do you look wrong? You're made out of shirts. To Chulu for 20 months. Hype. Thank you. Thank you for 20 months. I think we've had 3 babies by now. Even if you consider the fact that, you know, sometimes the pregnancy is actually longer than 9 months, we've had 3 whole babies. I'm not paying child support. They have to. It's an MMO. They need expansions. They need new things. They have to keep you entertained. Remember, the one you could say aging aspect to Final Fantasy 14 is that, please don't be shirt, it's brown, is that it is a monthly subscription. WoW, I think, was $14.99. I don't know if they had any way to change that price. Final Fantasy 14 at its lowest, I think, is $11 or $12.99. So it's a little bit cheaper, but it does still have the equivalent of a monthly subscription. So they have to keep releasing stuff between the expansions. They need the gameplay because there's always people rushing to the end. They need to keep doing stuff, you know, like otherwise everyone's just going to leave. Now, what this means, though, is that if they don't add in a new mechanic or change things around every expansion, then there's no real big difference on every new expansion. It's just new maps. So they have like a double, they have to do things because they're charging money. So to keep the people interested mid-game or mid-expansion, they keep releasing new content. Like every quarter or so, there's like the new patch 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, so on and so forth before the next expansion. But then also what that means is you haven't had people kind of slump in the middle of expansions and then come back. So everything's kind of refreshed on them. So they're going to occasionally change like game mechanics and stuff like that. Just it's a living like rule set, so to speak. Like they're going to need to do that for the people who have also been playing. Like, all right, now it's time for an expansion. You can get a bunch of people off of just new maps. Don't get me wrong, but you're not going to keep a lot of people for many new expansions off of just there's a new map. You got to have something new. They had was it the first expansion or was it the second? One of them introduced flying. Then one of them introduced swimming and like actual underwater swimming. So on and so forth. There's other mechanics. Those are just the 2 that are coming to my head. But they almost have to keep reinventing the wheel. I don't even know what, like, I know there's going to be a shtick to the new expansion, probably. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's probably going to be there. The last one, if you guys recall, the shtick to the last one was, actually, it's just a really good story. I haven't played in a bit. It wasn't major like walking or whatever. They had realmed it. I don't know what the right term for it would be. And the older maps, as long as you could survive, you could just basically go anywhere. So they basically set there to be a proper progression, which I know sounds weird and is like a weak argument, but that was the thing that they basically tried for the last one. If you recall, there actually weren't that many maps, but like the first map that had the docks at the south, we could only ever do the south. And they had spread it out to where you couldn't get flying to even see the north until you'd gone north, because there was a cliff you absolutely just could not cross. Then once you did the cliff, you could do that and down. But then there was an area even further north that like you couldn't easily fly to. So they had like a storied progression. And they also cut it off from the main world map, which is kind of not anything, but it really kind of is. Because everything previous to that being somehow tied in geographically to the older world kind of meant that you had to keep changing the older worlds, and you needed to make sure that it was visible. So they've freed themselves creatively. Creatively. They have freed themselves creatively by being like, oh, BT dubs, fucking multiplanar adventures now. Is that a gameplay shtick? No. I will give you that. And there might be one that I'm going to remember way later and be like, oh yeah, duh, there's this. But what you do have is for those very same people where you need to introduce something to them, you've basically reintroduced the concept of the joy of exploring. You can explore everything you can, and you can still see the things in the distance, because a lot of them were tall structures and shit, if you recall, but you couldn't actually get there, which is something that they really hadn't had since the beginning of the first game. Flying kind of took that away from everyone, which they did state that they thought was kind of a, like, that's why they didn't want to put it in the early beginning part of the first servers, the initial game, but then they revealed that was just because PS3 couldn't handle it. So there was that. Don't you say they'll craft it. Shut the fuck up. Oh, 27. Why did I think 20 was more than 3? Shh. I'm a smart man. All right, we're going to channel all this down now. And we are going to trim you off. All the way down to here. I think I can start trying to trim off. I'm torn between whether or not I want to trim this. This is our only way northwest, I think. I could set up another way to do it, but right now I don't want to trim all of that. I do, however, want to start trimming this. I'm going to start getting rid of the stuff above the circle going up. I will trim that to where this wall is and then leave it there. All right, this went out this far. We're at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know why I counted that. I knew what it was. Dig channel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Merchants are here. I don't have any crafts again. Oh god, he's been stuck here doing this. Did you not begin, dude? Motherfucker. What do you need? Rock, cloth. You just need cloth thread? Is that all you need is cloth thread? Are we waiting on cloth thread? No, it's the loom that does that. It's the loom that does that. Weave cloth. W. So we have a lot of thread, but not a lot of cloth. Apparently, we don't have any cloth. Do that now. Pharaoh's crafting. What could he ask for? Please start moving. That guy down below has to have finished by now. He doesn't want cloth. Why don't you want cloth? I made cloth. Maybe someone's... No, he would have been the first to take priority. Why don't you want cloth? He's not saying yarn. Cloth thread. He needs cloth. Maybe it's another type of stone. He's just saying stone. Okay, stone rock. Stone rock. Maybe it's another stone. Do we not have enough stone? He's only asking for stone and cloth, and we have stone and cloth. What the hell does he want? This man's insane. He's got to be asking for something else. He didn't want silk. Silk and yarn asked for something specific. He's only saying he wants stone and cloth. You got stone. He's saying cloth thread. But we have thread. What are you asking for? You've got everything. Any yarn. You're not saying yarn, dude. I'll get you yarn, but that's not what you're saying. Also, we should have had plenty of yarn. Don't we have a thing for shearing animals? Don't tell me we auto-loomed it. Oh, God, no. Merit deserves a reward. I come in power to establish you as an official land. Do we want someone to be the Baron? Yarn, no. But are you making the wool into the yarn? Yeah, we have we set up a job to do that automatically. Oh my God. He's gonna cancel his sub now. They'll ask again, right? I don't want to do this right now. We need Baron. You guys, fine, whatever. We'll just do Baron Coca again. You guys love Baron Coca. There you go, Baron Coca. We have nothing for this man. He's gonna be very salty. Oh God, that was him asking me for money, wasn't it? I'm sorry. You didn't do an import equipment agreement, whatever. Why are our drinks going down? Everything that is supposed to be happening is not happening. Why? Hold on. Do we not have a manager? We have a manager. Manager has his office. Process plants, active. Shear animals, supposed to be active. Brew drink from plant, active. Pots, active. How are we down to 70? Is he not brewing them fast enough? I'm going to up that to 10. I mean, a condition of your reagents is going to be up to 15. Now you're angry you don't have enough of the food storage items. I'm going to go to the wooden pots. They're supposed to be making 10. The condition of their reagents, though, is going to be if they have less than 25. So those two should clear themselves through. Now, are you switching over to fruits? No. So why do we not have booze? You'll take whatever I give you. I don't know. All right, who got dwarfed? Tachulu at number 1. All the ones today. That RNG program of its. An administrator. Tachulu, I think the second. An admin it is. Rambutan. A lot of time for a circle. Okay, what is still on this? Quiver, pick, weapons. I'm going to put this down here, and then we're just going to get rid of this. We basically got everything off of this already. So time to remove that. We don't need it anymore. It's in the way. Time to rerun through jobs since we killed through so many? This is true. Not has nickname, profession. If we need a brewmaster, which I call them cooks. No, I don't. I call them kitchen staff. We don't have kitchen staff. We have one guy with brewing who happens to be digging. That's our problem. All right. Here's how we're going to do this. I want... Who's good at rolls? Give me a read. I'm going to set this up for a brewer. 2 administrators, 1 animal caretaker. I'm not dealing with that right now, so you're a hauler. 2 animal dissectors definitely sound like haulers. Animal trainer, I will bring you back probably later, but hauler for now. 2 apprentice crafts, a beekeeper. Do I look like I'm keeping bees? You're not even a beekeeper. You're a metal guild. What are you talking about? Metalworkers Union. Metalworkers Guild. 3 bone carvers. No, you're all apprentice crafters. Never lie to me. 1 bowyer. You are a woodworkers guild for bowyery? Yeah. 2 brewers. Okay, you're lying. Where were you a minute ago? And you are now kitchen staff. 2 cheese makers. I'm not making cheese, so you're haulers. 1 clerk. I will leave you alone. 3 clothiers. That means you are in the Weavers Union? Weavers Guild? There we go. 1 cook. That puts you on the kitchen staff. 3 craftsmen. That means that I don't think any of you are legendary, so you're all apprentice craftsmen. 1 diagnoser. I'm going to turn that and make you a doctor. Medic, I think is what I actually end up calling him. Turn both of these doctors into medic. Whoever has the highest, I'll turn that back on him. Dyer, you go into the Weavers Guild. 3 engravers. That means you're all Stoneworkers Union. But you can have Mason turned off. 1 enlisted, 2 excavators, 4 farmers. No such thing as a farmer. You're a green thumb. Hold on, chat. I do see you guys saying things in my left eye. We don't have fish in this one, so you're a hauler. If I don't just power through this, I'm going to forget where I was and what I was doing. Fishery worker, get out of here. Hauler. Furnace operator. You are, I think that's in the metal workers guild. Yeah. 1 gym cutter. I'm going to leave you alone. I do think I have a jeweler's guild. Do I have a jeweler's? I do have a jeweler. All right, you're a jeweler. 4 gym setters. Sounds like you want to be jewelers. How about this? Whoever's the best gets to stay. You 2 are jewelers. The other 2 are fake. You 2 are haulers. 1 glassmaker. I'm going to leave you alone. 1 glazer. You're clearly a metalworkers guild. I don't even think that changed anything on you. 2 green thumbs already happened. 3 haulers already good. 1 jeweler. I say you a jeweler anyways. 1 lumberjack. 1 lime maker. I'm leaving you alone. 3 masons. You are all in the stoneworkers union. 2 master bone. You shouldn't be, but whatever. 2 master stone. Did they lose skill? I thought master meant that they were legendary. I'm looking at rolls. No. Even the square wouldn't even make up for that. Medic. 2 metal crafters. You should be the metalworkers union. I can work out the specifics of this later. Miller, we will have to use him later. 3 miners or excavators. God, I haven't looked at any of these. Peasants to haulers. Planter to a green thumb. Potash maker, I'm not dealing with you right now, so hauler. 2 potters, not doing that right now, hauler. 1 ranger, we're not dealing with rangers right now, so hauler. 1 soap maker, I'm ignoring you. 2 stone crafters. Apprentice craftsmen. 5 fucking traders. Haulers for now. 2 trappers, haulers. 4 effing weaponsmiths. Metalworkers Guild. 2 weavers. Into the Weavers Guild. 1 wood burner. I'm going to leave that alone. 2 wood crafters. You're not legendary. Apprentice craftsman. 3 wood cutters. No such thing. You're a lumberjack. 4 woodworkers. Is that the right name for that? Woodworkers Guild. I think technically there is a difference. I switched them off of wood cutter and onto wood crafter. Makes sense. We have plenty of others to do that. Commit all of that through. All right. Collapse all. Now I can see that we have 3 kitchen staff who should now start brewing. I think we had tried to set it up before that brewing should actually be apprentice crafts, shouldn't we? Didn't we set that up? Because it turned out the only difference was a little bit of speed. So I set that to anyone can brew, and we'll turn that off of kitchen staff, oddly enough, because the brewing skill doesn't matter as anywhere near as much as I thought it did, meaning more people get a job at crafting. They myrtle the young to harvest the milk. I don't know. You guys said, and I quote, diverse vegetarian fort. Now, I know there's a difference between vegetarians, vegans, and fruitarians, but I was fairly certain you couldn't have cheese either as a vegetarian. I'm fairly certain that you guys said no. Even if you didn't mean to. You have to pay attention to what you say. Words mean things. Build construction floor. Why is there a hole there, of all places? Because I never had a wall there. That makes sense. DN. I can now get rid of that. And that too. Hopefully no one dies. New to the channel, just curious for a rundown of what's going on. Soul. No. No, you're not Soul 314. You're Soul Pie, aren't you? Did you try to go for Pie? I feel like you tried to go for Pie. I'm gonna, unless you correct me that you do want the 314, I'm going to try to call you Soul Pie or Soul Pie. What we're doing is whenever I do a fort, I basically have the shtick. I have the heart. I have the meme of the fort. What are our tenets? The chat has come up with, well, one of them admittedly I put in because of our last base, how fast it died. But our three tenets are circles, a central waterfall, and a diverse vegetarian fort, because I overly rely on fishing and turkey eggs. So what we have done is the river on this map, we found a river that was rather large and had a 20 Z level waterfall to an even bigger river down below. We have built our base in the middle of that three-river tri-section. If you're a fan of the old sci-fi show Andromeda Ascendant, this is the All Forces nullification point. Who got that reference? Anyways, continuing on, we have diverted the river over to the middle of our All Forces nullification point to create the central waterfall theme, and we are going to now build this structure down into the river below, where we might have a narrow thing to get through the water but leave the rest of it alone. Somehow we might have to do like 3 points to get through because we can't do one in the middle. That's where the water's falling. Either that or we're just gonna have a giant floating base. Not sure on that yet, but where we have been building things, and I heard someone get dwarfed, I will get you in, where we have already been digging things to get rooms and stuff built, we've been doing it off of circles. So we have that, and upstairs, even the little rooms, this is where they're eating, the bedrooms, everything is off of adjoining circles. Down below, when we were mining out for more jet, we did everything in a series of connected circles. Even the hallway is essentially a 2 radius circle to start going into other things. The only place that is admittedly not a circle, purely because of just how the water physics was going to work, is we have a side operational room over here where we had to use to divert as much of the water pressure over as possible to get it out of the way and back in here, so I could build the floodgates here to control the water, whether or not it comes in. That's not a circle. I didn't need it to be as boxy as it was, but I needed it to be wide. And at best, I wasn't going to get a circle correct at its width. It doesn't say like curves, it says circles, meaning it was going to be the top of it. Wasn't going to work. So that room is admittedly not a circle, and if you want to be technical, this part isn't a circle either. But this, in my defense, it is a radius 1 circle as drawn from an intersection. It just so happens to look like a series of squares. That's called aliasing. Unfortunately, Dwarf Fortress does not anti-alias, so that doesn't look like circles, but I'm going to go to my grave saying that that is circles. We made the central part actually kind of circular as well. Any of the radius 2 circles, as it is squares, is going to look like a little cross, but it is what it is. Now, you got dwarfed at dwarf number 1. It's supposed to roll bigger numbers. I have no clue why that system is just not working at all right now. Switch this back to has nickname, collapse all. You got dwarf number 1, which has now been reclassified as a hauler. Basically, what the game calls a peasant. I just don't have a job for you yet. Also, did you ever tell me what you were going with your name? I have to look at chat. Male ones. Cheese isn't meat. We can milk the animals. Just myrtle the young. This is one of my first ranch jobs. You talking. Vegetarians do have cheese. Some choose limited, but they do eat eggs, cheese, and honey. Ah, yes. 3141592653589, so on and so forth. So it is pie. Aha. I identified. Welcome to Mountain Home. You got dwarf 1. I've got you in. I think I submitted that through. Yes. Like I said, remember, right now you have no job, but as you just saw me correcting a bunch of the jobs, that's just I don't have anything for these specific people right now. I would say, as that is your first time talking, that same script doesn't just give you a dwarf, it also tells you if your dwarf is still alive. So if you catch one of my streams and I'm not doing Dwarf Fortress, or you think you have your dwarf but you're not entirely sure, type in the command anyways. No matter what, if you do have a dwarf, it'll whisper you. You'll get a little whisper message. If I'm doing a different game, it'll also whisper you. So feel free to type that command in whatever you want. It's a little script I have written up. The next dwarf was Orion, Dungeons and Dragons 1212. You got dwarf 2. Supposed to choose any number, but whatever. Woodworkers Guild. Orion, Dungeons and Dragons 1212. Now, in the future, I might need to shorten your name a little bit, Orion, if you die and get redwarfed. Because if you have successive amounts of dwarves, some of our viewers are known for their dwarves dying at the slightest provocation. I will start needing to add on and Romans behind it, like the second, the third, the fourth, so we can keep track in Legends mode or anything else, which one is which. Your name, I think, is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You literally, your name is Orion D&D 1212, and you have 12 alphanumeric characters in it. 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I wonder if you knew that. I think the actual limit for what I can name someone is 13 alphanumeric characters. So what I might have to do later on is if something happens, I might have to start taking some of your vowels out. That way we can get you named correctly. Why do you want me to lord over you? Because it causes fun. You remember what happened when we dabbled in necromancy. Lots of beady-eyed vegetarians, fish and birds, fine, just nothing with mournful brown eyes looking back from the PETA picture. Almost pretty much Kleino. Remember, he's bad at remembering. This is true. I forgot to follow. Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for following. That's the reason that script exists. Dwarf, Draxir, you got dwarf number 1. Yes. It does make me look like I'm not nice when I don't dwarf people who are like, hi, how's it going? But if I dwarf you and you haven't typed in the script, the program doesn't know you're alive. So that is my big Draxir, you got dwarf number 1. Why is it only rolling like 1s and 2s? You are also a hauler right now. Right now, that script is set. Now, it's not set to do the full number, admittedly, which I think is like 30, probably plus. That script is set to roll any number between 1 and 7. Let's increase that. 1, 2, doesn't matter. It hasn't rolled anything other than a 1 and 2. I don't care if it only said 1 and 7. It should do something other than effing 1. Welcome to the base. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for following. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your curiosity. If you have any questions, my keyboard is not switched back, but my mouse did. If you have any questions about my base or Dwarf Fortress in general, feel free to ask. If enough people ask about something, I usually also end up doing a College of Dwarfology video, 1, 2, 3, 4, to delve into it in detail. I've actually done a few of them. I just haven't uploaded them because I'm a bad person. But I've basically gotten out of my backlog. I've so basically gotten out of my backlog of archive scripts. They're on YouTube. I just gotta publish them, of archive videos. So I can't even be distracted with like the lack of memory space or anything like that. Essentially all the non-excuses that somehow I keep sticking myself behind because I have a prioritization issue, we'll say. It's gone. It's gone. So look forward to one of those videos dropping. Or maybe I'll just look at one of the ones I already published to YouTube and just never like publish to public and just switch one of them to public. Because some of them I think were decent, but there was like one aspect I didn't like about it. If I would just stop trying to be like a perfectionist isn't even the right word. If I'd stop reading into things that I think someone might argue with me on, we'll go with that. Because it doesn't have to be perfect, but there's some things where like I'll say something and I didn't say, I'm making up a number for a point. And that guy went crazy. I never got the yarn. Oh, well, not my fault. Thanks. Dwarf, for sure live if you didn't say anything in chat. Yeah. Now, Beard is my scripting program's channel points before it introduced channel points. Admittedly, that doesn't do much. I might get rid of that. The only thing I think it really does right now is you could exchange channel points off of an unofficial channel point system to purchase your own personalized greeting from the script. Or it says hi to you, even if you don't say anything, but sometimes it takes up to 5 minutes. A migrant has arrived. But that is so little used. And at this point, if everyone forgot it existed, you would now all turn that in. It would almost be pointless. So I might just end up erasing that aspect. Like that, those points might disappear. If you already have a greeting, that might stay in to just grandfather it or whatever. I have a new thought of what to do with that very same program, though, but it wouldn't make sense for channel points, beard length or otherwise, unless you just want a beard length to laugh at how long it is, because I tried putting it in metric, and I think the first time I said centimeters. I shouldn't do measurements. How about that? No, that's the issue. Yeah, I did kind of have a few things that I was supposed to be doing, but yeah, once Twitch was like, here are channel points, that just got rid of the entire, that's all it was. My new thought for the personalized greetings, oh god, there's an idiot stuck down there. I can get him out this way. For the part of the script that's doing the personalized greetings, here's my brain. What if I have it program in a personalized greeting for everyone I know who streams? And then it will auto shout them out, even if they're just lurking. Brain blast. Problem is, I don't know if the shout out stream elements bot will respond to my script bot. I don't know if they would respond to each other. Actually, I can test that really quick. Hold on, let me pretend I'm my bot. Test. I'm a bot. Shout out. Clinodev. Yes. The stream elements bot will respond to my script bot. So that'll work. That was my idea for how to still have that used. Okay, we've done the security wall. We've done 8 hours of slowly building a base, getting around, carving things out of the way. I have no clue why my dwarves are so happy. I have no clue why they're so happy. We don't have anything. We've in the background, we've been doing a numbers game of trying to not die of sobriety. Sobriety? Not trying to die of sobriety. We've managed to avoid dying of sobriety, but not by much. It's active. I just don't know where they are or why. We're going to start needing to move that around. We now have the first room. The second floor was starting to be done out. That's not going to be happening much tonight as we are approaching near 8 hours. I will go a little bit late to clean up, but we're definitely within like the last 30 to 45 minutes at most. We need to start cleaning up some of our projects so that next time when I stream Dwarf Fortress next Saturday, particularly when I've forgotten what I am doing, I can look at it, the map, and be like, oh yes, I am doing this. This part is easy to remember. We just need to create the new floor, as this is the first operational floor. The first floor is essentially given over to ranching and things that need to be on natural grass. this is the first floor that the dwarves can be operating on. That's why we already have a barracks there, for instance. So I'm going to order up a bunch of this as floor, but at some point, some of this floor will need to be destroyed and replaced with wall to do out the rooms. Yes. Also, this is a slight security risk if somehow something gets to this bottom floor via climbing from over there. So if I can get the wall up here, what I need to do is secure that stairwell. This is basically my first defense. What do I do here to stay defensive? It's not the greatest idea. This is definitely a temp solution at best. But what I can do is, we have a hole here. I'm going to do build. I need to go up one more. Up, down stair. If I build an up, down stair here, and up stair below it, and above it a down stair, we can do the reverse drain. It's not the greatest of entrances, but it is an entrance that I can secure. Which reminds me, down here earlier, we tied up a bunch of dogs. We don't need these here anymore. Are there any other restraints in use? I know we got rid of the one that was up here earlier, but I had 3. There's one, there's a third. There we go. We'll unchain our dogs. We'll chain one up on this. What we are using to cover the water can, for now, be our temporary entryway that we don't have to worry about. If I have a dog there to give an alert before it dies, we need their chains back so I can do this, then I can secure the hatch in time. Problem is, if we see something with that dog, whoever's outside, because part of our base is out there, is basically dead. So that's going to happen. Are they training? Yeah, they're just training. That's a lot of training. But yeah. I'm not going to be doing legends this evening, I'm afraid. 463 feet 5 inches to dominate with the biggest beard so far. I can look at the length of beards if someone hasn't said anything yet. Or I should say if they haven't put out their beard length. Currency, points. I'm going to ignore the bots. Domine has the longest, not by much, but Domine has the longest beard. There are people who have watched longer than him, but I think they cut their beards to do something. I am first, Mountain Home is second, Nightbot is third, Domine is next in order with 141,254. So if that's who it said earlier, yep, Domine. Domine's is the longest, not counting the bots, because, well, the bots are cheating. Didn't I say up, down? That looks like a down to me. That is a down. That is 100% not what I told you to do. I lost a bit 3 years ago. I don't know what that means. But also, it's, remember, those points are a different script. Those points don't come into play till after Stream Elements was in the picture, whereas the other one is from, like, ever. The bots have more beard. Robo Beard wins. If we go by the bots, the bot with the most is Mountain Home with 198,923. Technically, I have more than Mountain Home somehow by 244,266. I have no clue how I have 60,000 more than Mountain Home. No clue how that happens. We are so close to trimming this circle up. Can you guys get rid of the stairwell and fix it, please? Please, I beg you. We might as well also get rid of this over here. This is going to need to be an outer circle later, but we might as well get rid of the weird walking parts. Oh, fuck. Hello. Hello, everyone. I was not prepared for the influx. Hello, Lunatic. How is it going? Formal, what were you doing? Were you doing Tarkov? You were doing something besides Tarkov last time I looked. You might not have been doing Tarkov. Hold on, don't tell me. I have a button. I have a button. Boop. Formal fights bears. Rimworld. I was about to say something very bad. How did Rimworld go? Hello, everyone. We are starting cleanup procedures. I probably have about another half hour or so, but I'm cleaning up my projects. So if anyone want to get dwarfed or anything like that, now is the time to get it done. If you have any questions, now is the time to ask. If your name is Radu and you are the greatest man known to exist, where the Pope himself comes to you on the weekly to ask for your forgiveness. I don't know where that came from. Radu is implying Project Sunpoint. Oh my god. I apologize to anyone. I do not mean to be a blasphemer. Please do not smite me. Combat extended. Run and gun is so broken. The beard growth and the beard taketh away. Is run and gun the trait where you shoot less accurately but more often? Also, Formal, did you tell me? I mean, someone's saying CE, but was that you? He might have already had to bounce. Did he have to bounce that fast? Sometimes he has to bounce fast. That's fine. Hello, I'm here. Hello, Cosmic Hunter. I would dwarf any and all of you right now. I have nothing against dwarfing you. But I am not doing it until you type in the special code word. I use a script to keep track of whether or not people are alive. So if you don't type in !dwarf, the script doesn't know you're alive in case I'm doing something else. So I want to dwarf you. I want to look gracious and dwarf each and every one of you. And we have dwarves to spare. But alas, if I do, my script would be wrong. You wouldn't want my script to be wrong, would you? You want to type it in, don't you? Well, yes, no. Running gun allows you to shoot while moving, but inaccurately. Normally, you have to take a static position to fire ranged. Ah, is it a new one? I don't remember that trait. Is that from Combat Evolved? I got you at number 9, Cosmic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cosmic, you are an excavator. You are a miner extraordinaire. You hunt all the cosmics. Not comic. Cosmic. I got you. As long as you're not a turtle and have 18 plus range, you can kite on the move. It's a standalone mod. It's been around for quite a while. Running gun is a separate mod. Oh, okay. I never really had that much of an issue with like needing to move though. Now, admittedly, it does it. I will say though, it promotes kind of a static defensive line with the kill boxes and stuff, and that's just my jam. So that might be why I've never had the thought of needing to use that mod. I mean, I think if anyone's seen some of my bases enough, unless I'm being pressured out of my comfort zone with base building ideas, I'm definitely a fan of static defensive lines. Well, let's do an up-down this time and see if it works. Instead of just a down. Like an idiot. I'm going to do 2 up-downs.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for following. Also has a melee extension. CE just adds and changes how certain aspects work. Okay, so there is a CE, which changes how combat works generally. Then a standalone mod is run and gun, which says you can fire while on the run, but you're more likely to miss. Hopefully it's not like the new Battlefields one. Actually, they slightly improved that. I'm sorry, that was a low blow. They have a lot. They still have a lot to fix, but I will say that they've improved their inaccuracy and bloom issues quite a bit with like their last patch or two. I'm all down for complaining about a game and pointing out things it needs to correct when it deserves it. But if they're attempting it, I'm not gonna do a low blow. Now them putting Santa Claus into the game though, no. I don't know if anyone heard about that. It's a big hubbub. The new Battlefield game, everyone was like, hey, fix it. You're doing it like it's Call of Duty or Fortnite. Do regular Battlefield, and we will forgive. We will forget this travesty of what you've done so far if you just make the game more like Battlefield. So they put out a patch, they started fixing some of it, and then they introduced skins, such as this cheerful, oh, someone fell. Damn it, who died? Please don't be named. Magna Dracomon, welcome to the land of the dead. Hold on. Do I have a button? Do I have a button for Magna Dracomon? He doesn't die that often. I don't have a button for Magna Dracomon. You are dead though, right? He's not dead. Can he get out of there? Wait, hold on. I know someone just got Is he drowning? I think he's drowning. No. I mean, if he's swimming, okay, now he's dead. I thought for a second maybe he could swim and climb his way out. He didn't. Magna's dead. Hold on, chat. I don't have a button for him, so I have to type this in. I usually have a button to do this. Dwarf kill, Magna, Draco. It's Mon, right? Not Min. Magna Dracomon. Please tell me I typed that right. Dracomon. Magna Dracomon. Okay, yep. His characters hardly ever die. Cyrilak got Dwarf number 2. 1, 2. Cyrilak, you are a member of the Weavers Guild. If I had that industry working more effectively, I could probably gauge about how much you've been doing. But since that industry keeps stalling, why is the drink industry stalling though? That's what's freaking me out. All right, is someone doing this? Who is making the booze? You know what? New job. Build workshop still. 2 stills. How about a 3rd still? We have so many people that can do brewing. Let's get 3 stills going. Let's do it. Problem is, I think the job I put in was a personal job, not a general job. Work orders created for this shop. Is there a way to turn that to unlink it from that still? I want to unlink it. I can't, can I? Details? All right, we'll take the other ones and just tell them to brew, like, repeat until they brew max and stop. 2 stills, 3 brewers. The splooger right down the river, kind of many broke enough it was likely lethal. Must be my fault. Sure, the lungfish appreciate all of her sacrifices. No, we're not sacrificing. I'm sorry. That was the military changing out. Tell me I didn't just do that out of shirt. I did. Not shirt, jet. 4 wood. No, something's wrong. Not there, not there. Go construction floor. That needed to be wall. This is supposed to be the thing going up and down. If I built it as floor, it wouldn't work, because it has to go up to loop back down. Build construction downstairs. Wait. Yeah, because I'll do ramps up the side. 110 dwarves, 1 cup. This is true. We have no cups. Everyone's having a drink with their hands. I'm just watching that drink count slowly plummet. And it's like, what is this still doing? The jobs say they're active, but they're just not doing anything. Repeat. Repeat. Do now. Do now. Someone just churn out those boozes again. It's probably because like we lost like a master brewer or something earlier. I don't know. Someone died and the efficiency plummeted. So now nothing's happening correctly. I just want a secure way in. And then what I will do is I will remove... I need a stairwell down here. I also know for a fact I'm going to need 2 hatches. Carpenter's hatch. Cover. H. Get those built and we'll be fine. The issue might just be food storage as well. I didn't even think about that. Idlers just plummeted from 24 down to 12. Yeah, we have some food stuff hanging around somewhere. There's not been any gobbo attacks yet. When I embarked here, we might not be in their territory, but we are close. When I initially embarked here, I wanted to create a base over here. And or was it up here? Somewhere around here, it said there was gobbos. Yeah, there are gobbos. How far away is that? No. Normally it tells you how far away. Okay, it's up top. There are goblins only a day away, so we do have goblin neighbors. We just haven't seen any. There's a war going on around us. The humans are at war with the elves. Here's the human forest retreat of Chain Satin. The humans are at war with the elves, and I'm assuming both the human empire and the elven empire are at war with the goblins. So we might not be their highest priority. We're like between 3 major forces that are fighting each other. I think our civilization's over here somewhere. I don't know where our civilization is. So there are goblins near us. They have not attacked us. I suspect it's because they're busy with the other races. Because otherwise they should have definitely attacked us before, and we did not have the defenses to not be attacked yet. Like, if they had attacked us, we would have had a very bad time. But that hasn't happened. So, yes. Yippee. I don't know. I'm going to need a way to get up on this as well, so I can build the roof. Admittedly, this is ugly. What I'm doing here is admittedly a very, very ugly way of doing this. Because this part needs to be contained as well. Below it, it doesn't, but above it, it does, in case it's a flying creature. Build construction downstairs. This is not going to be the official entrance. This is just so we have a secure entrance for when we do this next time. Tell me you weren't shirt. All right, doesn't look like it's shirt. I'm going to suspend that wall so we can do the corner. Why are we not building here, though? Build construction wall. So if you do not know, by the way, for anyone who is new to the game, this is a very simple, impenetrable defense, as long as you know it's coming. If you go up, essentially 1 extra one, but for here, we're going to say 3. If you go up 3 levels, then over, then go down 1, and you put floor hatches on top of the stairwell, no enemy can get in. Anything underneath the construction menu, build menu, capital C, says wall, floor, stairs, track, but it's construction. Anything in the construction menu is impenetrable, cannot be destroyed, doesn't matter. Even if it's wood, can't be destroyed. But also, just do the finicky thing with pathfinding. If an opponent who has building destruction cannot walk up to a floor hatch, he can't destroy it. If he can only access it from below, pathfinding says he can't stand next to it, because pathfinding is checking where the floor hatch is, not what can technically touch the floor hatch. So if you have a floor hatch above something and you lock it, they can't break it open. Again, even if it's wood, they would have to like breathe fire up at it. Like a floor hatch can be destroyed by fire and stuff, but like they have to get up into it. So as long as they can only access it from below, you're good. At least for right now. It's been that way for a long time, but with the Steam version coming out and stuff, at some point I suspect they're going to fix a lot of things. So you don't have to worry about that. So for right now, as long as you are pretty good on that you shouldn't have an issue. The elves are friendly to start with by default, but I wouldn't say I go looking for fights with them. But I've ended up one way or another, like at a war with the elves. The problem is, even though it's not even that the elves are close, it's that the elves' capital is right by us. They're 2,000. They have 2,000 elves there. So if their capital starts sending things at us, they could probably, even if we get maximum things with highly equipped dwarves, they could probably, like, death by 1,000 paper cuts, kill us by a war of attrition. We're not at war with them, and like I said, I don't always go looking for the fight, but we do tend to have a fight with them a lot. Sometimes what'll end up happening is there'll be like a lichen or something nearby, or someone will be putting a mood and somehow we'll like hit one elf. And they're gonna be like, okay, you're at war now. No. I'm not at war. I didn't want to be at war. Ooh, yeah, you're at war now. No. Gonna turn that, I need to get up there to the roof. So this looks ugly, but this is derpily the strongest defense in the game. Bar none. It's the fastest. As long as you know the enemy's coming, you just have to go to it and click lock. You don't have to do a lever or anything. So you're not even dependent upon the dwarves doing something. We can drop them into the river. Yes. All right, more of that. More of this, please. Thank you. And that one goes down. So what we have for our design, you know, we already said circles, but this is what we're living in. And I'm going to have the outer, like, moat system. So there's also an outer wall that's not part of the base. So that is what I'm doing up here. I'm trimming back, because at first I just floored across the entire 3 river, 3 mountain system. So I'm now removing up here the part of the floor that wasn't, because a moat is pointless if you've built a floor over it. I've heard that before. I don't know if it's some like ancient secret of war or whatever, but moats don't work if they're not there. Little known fact. Write that down. Yeah, we actually, yeah, that has been our biggest issue. We have killed a lot of people to the river. Why is this man not buried? I just noticed this. Your skeleton's been here for a while. We have open caskets. I don't know if I have open beds. I forgot to build beds again. See, this is the type of cleanup I'm talking about before we can end the stream. We have like 50 dwarves without a bed. No, only 28. Okay, we just built like 20 more. So I'm hoping for 4 couples. No, I'm hoping for 8 couples. I'm hoping for 8 couples and 28 dwarves. Might get lucky with 4. Knowing my luck, ain't gonna happen. Let me wait for them to install them all before I start going square by square. Did we not have beds in this row too? I thought we installed new ones down here again. No, I guess that was handled. Well, that's sadness. Yep. Hopefully we don't need to order some more. We should be good. Cancel shear animal. Why do we have so many dogs? Did some more of them pop out? Did some more of them pop out ungelded? Yep. Wait, no. 2 males. No, that's just how many we had before I started cutting the balls off. Okay. Yeah, we nearly had a dog explosion. Don't know why. Just lots of dogs. So, real quick, I'm making all of these beds be a 1x1 bedroom as opposed to just assigning the entire room as a dormitory. While it is functionally the same as a dormitory, way better moods. Dwarves get negative thoughts for sleeping in a dormitory because they have no privacy, Whereas if every room is a 1x1 bedroom, they don't get the negative thought. And they get a positive thought for going to sleep and admiring their own bed. So we're doing that. 128 units, 21 unowned bedrooms. One of those is the barracks, does not count. We're going to need like 10 more beds probably. So we've basically made 2 dormitories, but according to the game, we haven't. We've made 100 individual bedrooms. All right, build construction, up, down. Yeah, I think I went 1 too far up. Like that could have, oh, wait, no, I didn't. I did this exactly right. Those are just ups. Build construction. Downstairs here, because that's the top. And do a downstairs there, and then below I'm going to do a ramp, and I think that should work. I want to get up to the roof without having a stairway up to the roof, so I don't have to do the fighting every time when I try to get rid of that stairway. The hauler is starving. He probably had a mood. I think I failed like every mood but 4 this stream, and I've had like 16 moods. Doesn't matter. They all ended up flinging themselves into the river anyways. Like some great lemming sacrifice. Like, they only go stupid and fall down and have issues when it's above the river. When it's above, like, a cliff, there's like, we'll do the smart and not fall down. Don't you fall. Don't you dare fall. Don't you do it. How could you do this to me? How could you tempt me with your evilness? All right, build construction. Upstairs. Rambutan. All right, that got done. Build, construction. I hope this works. I think technically it should. I know there can be issues when it's a natural ramp, but a constructed ramp, I think, will just automatically adhere to a wall in any of the 8 directions. So that ramp, even though I'm not approaching it from the right angle, should work to get up here. These 2 walls are wrong. Stop being jerked. Whatever, doesn't matter. That's going to be taken down. This is a temporary structure. Doesn't need to be perfect. I just need to be able to build up here. Can you reach? They can. Okay, cool. This way, because when they go to remove the ramp, they'll just stand next to it. They won't be up here. Like sometimes you have issues with removing a downstair, where they keep trying to stand on the wrong side. There we go. Problem solved. Watch, they're going to do this somehow from up there. I thought he went up. I legit thought he ran up there. Oh, wait. What was he doing? What? It's still there. Did he quit? You can't quit on removing the structure. That fish is freaking me out. How is that fish up here? Dude, how long does it take to get rid of a ramp? Thank you. All right, so that is now working. Because that is working, we have an issue. I need to get them to stop going through here. Because if they don't, they will die. Like, that's where a hole is of doom. Because I need to get rid of that floor. So I'm going to de-orders. And I'm going to say everything over here is restricted. And hopefully, this will convince them that they have to go the other way. Because if they don't, whoever is there when that thing goes away is dead. They too will be sacrificed to the great river god, and I won't be able to save them. I'm just going to keep watching everyone walking through the same square regardless. Because they care not. Animals, who cares? Also, I think animals just ignore those type of restrictions anyways. Is someone removing it? Okay, someone's standing there. If a dog dies, it's on the dog. Ah, we have a yak. Come on. Go away before someone kills himself. What are all these dogs doing anyways? What did you just do? He did most of it and then just pissed off. Get back here and finish. Is it the dogs? Do the dogs keep interrupting him so he's not doing it? Because they make him move? I think that's what's happening. Every now and then the dog's like, hey, get out of my way. And it stops him deconstructing. Oh, come on. Yep, he just leaves. It's the stupid mutts. Where are you idiots going? All right, new thing. Look at the new dog zone. Doggo, doggo, dog, doggo. Doggo, dog zone, doggo, dog. I muted the mic during that, so you didn't have to hear me clicking dog times 2 times, no, actually dog times 3 buttons. Oh, we don't have another undead again, do we? We do have another undead. Damn it. So many dead bodies. Did we make more caskets? Were they just never installed? Build burial receptacle. Could have sworn I had more caskets. Are these all filled? You're not a tomb, and there's a guy. Oh God, what just happened? There we go. Give me 20 more caskets. Not enough people are getting buried. I think someone's trying to chain them up. I don't know if they're respecting it. There's a lot less. There's definitely a lot less dogs going through there. I think he's still having an occasional issue, though. Oh my God. Leave him alone. Not my issue right now. I never thought it'd be so hard to get rid of a floor. I know, but most of them have been slabbed. I'm talking about the bodies that are here. Again, how are my dwarves so happy if they stare at dead bodies all day? I don't understand. You're literally praying next to 3 dead bodies. How are you happy? Do they just not care about the dead bodies? There's 1, there's 2, there's 3 dead bodies. All right. New idea. What if I just channel it down on the outside? If I do that, the animals can't come in that way. If they can't come in that way, they'll stop being a pain in my ass. Now, I know technically we're vegetarians, supposedly not pacifists. So I should be able to butcher and kill the dogs, but not eat them. But then I'd have to do a whole lot of microwaving to make sure that we don't ever use that meat. I already had to possibly eat some meat earlier, the humanity, when I had to butcher 1 dog to get its hide for someone having a mood. If I suddenly butchered 40 dogs, I think at that point it'd be safe to say that we're definitely just a meat base at that point. To womb. Quote 208 has a typo. Kidnapping is missing a P. Jesus Christ. How long has that been there? 208. Because that's a while ago. No one ever noticed? There you go. 2.8 fixed. Boo, doo, boo. Okay, there we go. Please get rid of the floor. We have removed the issue with the dogs. Thank you, build construction wall. We are now secure. I would like to introduce you to the first fort of, what did we decide this was? A bicycle wheel? What is the name of this base again? I had it written down somewhere. PaddleFly from in the universe of Destiny. Welcome to the first defensive unicycle base. PaddleFly. All right, that has been done, meaning for the sake of calculations, I will get rid of the restricted area because I want the game freaking out over that. That is done. Wall secured. The entryway, slightly obnoxious to use, but it is secure. Area down below, slightly not, but if something can get to that, a lot of things can get to that. That's a different issue. So we're going to do one extra hatch for the thing that gets down below because we don't have a wall down there yet, and it's going to take me a little bit to get down there. There we go. So we'll do that off. We'll just sacrifice anyone who happens to be down here at that time, which is just going to be people in the barracks. So I think that's good. Also, this man's dead. And he's been dead for a minute. Well, you're building caskets. And I know we can't bury the people at the bottom, but we have 5 slabs. I don't know how many people are down there, but 5 slabs should be enough for all of them. Definitely didn't lose more than 5 people to one river waterfall during a dwarven project. That would be horrible rate of attrition to lose more than 5 dwarves for one 4-wide river. I mean, what kind of moron would do that? So I'm not that worried about the slabs. Really didn't have that much of an issue with the ghost till some of them started getting like uppity. And apparently our dwarves don't mind seeing the dead bodies and the ghosts anyways. Don't know why. The big concern I have defensively is this structure over here. I don't know how I'm going to get this and this to be connected to the base. Or, I mean, this can be transferred. This can be mostly ignored. But this being exposed to the outside could be a bit of a bad. Because essentially, while we now have a secure area of the base to the west, everyone spends their time to the east. We built the fort, we just don't live in it. Not great. So some of this first floor right here, at least temporarily, will need to be reconfigured to be like the new meeting area tavern. We already have the temple, so we don't have to worry about that. And maybe start transferring some beds over. Speaking of beds, did I tell them all to sleep yet? 17 units up bedrooms, 12 unknown bedrooms. 12. So it did start pulling itself kind of close. I only have an issue of 5, so I did not need. We had a lot more couples than I thought we had. Maybe it's because they all slept on the ground. They were just bored sitting on stones. They're like, hey, you wanna, have fun? What if that actually works? And like that's actually what the game is doing. Or if the game does that at some point. Like, he's just sitting there. They just start making babies. We'll order up these last of these beds to be individual bedrooms. Actually, I think I need to do all of them. I just need to equate for 5. After that, they're on their own. Someone has gotten dwarfed. Bear with me. 17 to 17. Anything else extra, we can deal with that later. You got Dwarf Storm at 9. I don't know why I clicked that button. That was a bad button to push. There we go. And before we start shutting this down, Storm, I got you at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Does anyone else want to get... Does anyone else want to get dwarfed before I save for the end of the game tonight? You are a hauler, but you're also our manager. Oh, God. Yeah, Gord, if you're typing in dwarf and it's not... Yeah, it's... Okay. All right, I think everyone else is good. Defense up, mostly. Caskets are up to start handling the dead bodies. I already don't see them here, so I think we finally had enough. We made good progress. A lot of it was construction work, which is always just kind of a bit slow. Kind of a bummer. But... As usual, I decided to have the big Mega Dwarf construction project out in the middle of nowhere. And additive construction is always slower in this game than deconstructive construction. Destructive? Negative? Mining. Mining out rooms is always faster than constructing the fort. What do I have over here? Do I care about this? Not really. I might later, but I don't now. I'm going to cover that. Next time we do this, I'll probably continue the circle from up here instead and go around. And we'll just join that back up and won't have to worry about it. So that floor needs to be done. Everything else is good. So I think we'll tell the game to save and be done for the evening. Ha ha ha, evening time. Streamlabs, we're going to tell it we're not doing Dwarf Fortress. I mean... that we're not live with it anymore, essentially. That way we don't have an issue with that. We had a lot of... I still need to get it to show, like, the other things. But in terms of telling Twitch that they support other than just their... I need it to show time, too. I want to find a way to see, like, who are, like, the most active in chat and stuff like that. But Radu, Orion D&D12, Nazdred, Wrecking Havoc, Tachulu, Skullnut, LaFonda, and You've Got Fail... and Formal Blizzard as subscribing. And of course, the new followers we have for today's stream: Cosmic Hunter, Toy Imp, Crunch, Dragon Knight 2024, Soul Pie, Gourd Squash, Cigar Kid, and Justin, with an extraordinarily large number of underscores behind his name. Thank you for your support. For those of you who are watching this on the archive channel, thank you guys on YouTube. We'll catch you guys next time. Or sorry, have a... Fuck. What do I say on YouTube? I have a thing because there's like a musical note that plays. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time.